All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this beautiful October 7th. We're going to continue with our Sweet 16 in this wonderful world of 3D CAD speed modeling. I am very excited. Just need to make a couple of adjustments here. And I have a very special guest with me today. Connor is here with us. He is a local high school student. Welcome, Connor. Thanks for joining us, a 3D CAD enthusiast. For everybody in the chat can say hello to Connor. It's so good to have you here, Connor, with us. And this is awesome. I love having people live in the studio. I love having a local high school student here with us in the studio. And you're not only a high school student, but I believe at your high school you are being taught Onshape. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So what are you learning about Onshape and 3D CAD that you really enjoy?
Well, we've already kind of gone over the basics, like all the basic extruding, revolving, waft, stuff like that. But really what my teacher's doing, which I appreciate, is that he's trying to really push us to think outside the box of our designs. Like he'll give us an objective and then he doesn't really tell us how to get there. And because of that, we have to think creatively on how to complete that project.
Yes, that is a big part of engineering, is learning how to kind of creatively think through these challenges, use all of the knowledge and the skills that you've learned all throughout your education, and then figure out what is, the best way to build the thing you're trying to build with the resources you have. So, welcome. Ivan is in the chat, says, hey Connor, my favorite hockey player is Connor. Oh, there you go, same person maybe.
I might be him.
You might be him, yeah, for sure. And beyond, of course, being an Onshape student. Oh, and by the way, who's you want to give a shout out to your teacher, your Onshape teacher?
Like last name?
Sure, yeah. Is it Mr. or Mrs.?
Yeah, big shout out to Mr. Krelick. I really enjoy your classes. If you're watching, I know that you like to show TooTallToby clips in your class.
Oh, a TooTallToby fan, huh?
Yeah, I've tried to.
Okay, huge shout out to Mr. Krelick then. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, that is great. And Nico Concarne says, welcome, Connor. Keep CADing. Yes, indeed, keep CADing.
Thank you.
For sure. And Connor, you are also a member of the National Honor Society?
Yeah, I've been one past 2 years.
Okay, and what grade are you in high school?
I'm currently a senior.
Senior?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, congratulations on getting into NHS as well.
Thank you.
And I believe if my research team has done their job, I believe that you are also in Boy Scouts of America, BSA.
Yeah, I've been in there for, like 11 years now. I've been in there since I was 7-ish.
Wow. Awesome. Anybody out there in the chat who was a member of BSA, let us know in the chat. Let us know what rank you made it to. And what rank are you at right now, Connor?
Right now I'm life, but I'm currently working on finishing up my merit badges and finishing up my Eagle Scout project.
Okay.
I'm hoping I can get Eagle before I turn 18.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yep. Well, congratulations on all of those accomplishments, and it's great to have you here live in studio with us.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm very happy to have you here. Thanks a lot for making the trip all the way to the studio and being here with us today and being here with everybody in the chat. So Connor's going to give us all of his insights on these models, on these challenges in this tournament. Have you been watching the tournament so far?
I have been trying to.
Okay.
I know, I have a general gist of. I know how it works. I have a general gist of who's playing. I like certain people, but
do tell. Any favorites? Anybody that you're thinking is going to go all the way?
I mean, I like Victor a lot.
Oh, Victor K.
Fan. Yeah.
Okay, big fan of Victor K.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Well, and I'm drinking out of this coffee mug today. I thought you guys might like this. It says, "I don't want to brag, but I model." Yep. So this is going to be very interesting. Big Forms AZ says, young perspective should be interesting. Yes, indeed. And guys, don't forget, we do have all of the upcoming matches here on the calendar. If you want to check out the calendar, you can see the upcoming matches, the Elite 8, and then the finals. I have a placeholder in there for the finals as well. So be sure to check us out, TooTallToby.com/calendar, as well as the playlist where we have all of the upcoming episodes. Christian Blanc is in the chat, says TTT for the win. Thank you, Christian. Great to see you in here today. Welcome, welcome, welcome to everybody in the chat. Don't forget, we also have the new TooTallToby.com website. The leaderboard, well, actually, it's not really up and running right now. I meant to actually hide that slide. The leaderboard is done for September. If you want to check out the September leaderboard, see how everybody did using all these cool different CAD systems, check out the leaderboard from September. We'll have the October one up and running very soon. And here we see the tournament bracket, and we see that we started out in the black bracket. The black bracket is sponsored by our friends over at JocoEngineering.com, www.jocoengineering.com. Visit Joco Engineering. He makes lots of cool videos on lots of different CAD systems, and Joco Engineering is where all of your 3D CAD dreams will come true. Do you ever dream about 3D CAD?
It's weird to say it, but after taking that class, I actually have had a few dreams about modeling random objects in the house.
Yes, that's awesome. Let's see here. Connor's vocal level is slightly low to me. Okay, X Machine Engineering, this is what we need. This is why you guys are indeed the best chat ever. I have no problem bumping up his volume a little, and I think we should, go ahead, why don't you tell us again. Have you had your 3D CAD dream yet? Oh, we got a producer here telling us what to do. Okay, thank you. Music is too high, and we can't hear Connor that well. Let's make adjustments, make adjustments. Okay, so X Machine says, we've all had that dream, Connor. So you've officially had your 3D CAD modeling dream. What were some of the things that you were dreaming about modeling?
Well, I mean, first thing was I was looking at Thingiverse a little bit, and I saw this cool, like, modular hexagon thing that helps plants grow up more. So you put it inside the plant pot, and then the plants can, like, I guess latch onto it and it helps them grow. So I was thinking about that, but I have a desk, and on that desk I wanted to make a cup holder. So I was imagining, like, I wasn't using a 3D CAD software, I was kind of sculpting it.
Okay.
But I was somehow using the commands from Onshape still. So
this is all what happened in the dream.
Yeah.
Wow, that is so cool, man. You've had your first 3D CAD dream. You are officially on your way to engineering in 3D CAD. I love it.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
And responding to Big Fromaz, it is. Yeah.
Yep. No cap. All right. This contest be busted. No cap, right, Connor? Yep, exactly. Yeah. And Tom Shinar is in the chat, says you guys sound great now. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much to all of the producers. Thank you very much to the chat for helping us out. And yeah, so be sure to visit Joco Engineering. Joco makes a lot of different CAD videos and a lot of different CAD softwares. He will indeed make all your 3D CAD dreams come true.
I see.
And all of you out there as well. And we see here that the Elite 8 is stacked. We got the Golden Spamfish using Onshape in dark mode, going up against Ivan the Reasonable using SolidWorks with no toolbars. Ivan the Reasonable, former champion of this very event. We're going to see how that match rounds out on October 21st. In the blue bracket, we see that we've got Victor K, who Connor is rooting for, going up against JAUSH, the #1 seed in the tournament. Can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see that. It's going to be a really good matchup there on October 21st. Big Form AZ giving Connor some tips here on using the mic. Yep, all good. I should have helped you with this too. It's probably a little better if it's just like aimed at you.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, like 360 no scope. And Sahil is here from India. Welcome, welcome. Yes, this match is going to be fire. These matches are all going to be fire. I agree. JAUSH PT in the chat. And we see here that the blue bracket is sponsored by SolidBox, mysolidbox.com, www.mysolidbox.com. Thank you so much to the crew over at SolidBox. Longtime friends of the show, longtime sponsor of the show. Very, very epic. Let's go down to the green bracket. This is what we're going to see some action in today. The green bracket is sponsored by one of our new sponsors, Revopoint. Revopoint specializes in 3D scanning technology. Visit Revopoint at revopoint3d.com. And today we're going to see PRANAV and JAUSH square off in the green bracket. Talk about matches that are going to be fire. I think this is going to be fire for sure. Aaron C. in the chat, right when we were talking about him in the green bracket. Welcome, welcome, Aaron. Congratulations making it to the Elite 8. Can't wait to see your match on October 28th against one of these champions who's battling today. And over in the red bracket, the red bracket is sponsored by the crew over at Alibre. Visit them at alibre.com. They specialize in making CAD software that is easy to learn, easy to use, affordable, and you install it on your computer and you have it forever. Visit them at alibre.com, an amazing sponsor of the red bracket. We're going to see Imants, the brother of the current world champion, going up against either Jack Saito, maybe we'll see some Onshape versus Onshape action, or going up against Jehan Refaa, some SolidWorks versus Onshape action. Regardless, that's what we're going to see today, some SolidWorks versus Onshape action. Wow, Aaron C in the chat coming through with some super chat. Thank you very much, Aaron C. Very much appreciated. Always appreciate that super chat. Goes a long way towards helping with these tournaments, keeping these tournaments running, and of course, keeping the channel running. So thank you so much for that, Aaron C. And what an amazing tournament. So many people in this tournament, 32 runners, plus 4 people on the waiting list, 15 countries represented. Wow. Yeah, and 8 different CAD systems represented. But now, after last week, we're down to just, I think, 8 or 7 countries. Wait, let me count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 countries left? 6 countries left.
Wow.
Yeah, we lost Brazil last week, unfortunately. And we still have 4 CAD systems. ANSYS Space Claim, Onshape, SolidWorks, and Inventor. So that's what we're down to as far as our CAD versus CAD going into this final matchup of the Sweet 16. We've got 1 person left from Egypt competing today. We've got, I think, 1 person left from India. I can't remember if Pranav is the only person from India. We've got 1 person left from the UK competing today. So we're going to see if maybe somebody gets knocked out today if we lose another country. Don't forget, if you guys enjoy this kind of content, be sure to support the channel. I just want to clear something up here real quick, guys. I was running a little bit behind schedule this morning as we were getting set up for the live stream. That was totally my fault as far as running behind. So I feel like I'm a little bit off with my cadence and everything. I feel like I'm slowly getting back into the groove here as we proceed. But what do you think, Connor? Does it seem like we're a little bit scatterbrained so far?
I mean, right now it's a little bit scatterbrained, but again, understandable. You know, you're rushing a little bit beforehand. But you know, I'm glad to be here.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you for that. Yeah, I feel like I'm running a little bit, a little scattery, but I feel like it's like funneling into a more straightforward line, a more continuous line. So, okay, Bucks is in the chat, says, "We forgive you, Toby." Okay, good. That's what I was waiting for. I just wanted to make sure Bucks understood what I was saying there. I appreciate that, Bucks. And we're going to keep going on here. If you guys enjoy this kind of content, be sure to like. It looks like we got 52 people watching right now. It looks like we got 21 likes. Let's see what we can do to get that like count to match the view count. Don't forget, if you're watching from a TV set, you can like using your remote control. Eric Beatty in the chat here today. Ex Machina Engineering, chatting it up with him. Welcome, welcome. We got another special friend here in the studio. I don't know if we're going to be able to see him. You can see him wagging his tail here in the background. But we do have another special friend here in the studio with us as well. So it's really a full house here in the studio today, and that's what I like to see during these live streams. All right, guys, let's get into it here today. I want to say thank you so much to Mrs. TooTallToby. I want to say thank you to Bodie McBoatpants for helping organize all the prizes, all the runners, everything that's going on. And really, that is the question, is there a prize? And the answer to that question is absolutely. The 4 people who make it to November 11th, really everybody's trying to become the champion of their bracket. And those 4 champions are all going to earn some money. 3rd and 4th place are going to get $125 each USD. Second place is going to get $250 USD, and first place is going to get $500 USD.
Wow.
Which is a lot. I mean, a lot for having just this open tournament. You know, I know that these runners are putting a lot of their own time and effort into these tournaments, and I really appreciate it. And I think that it's important that we recognize them, and this is one way that you can recognize them. But I'm not alone. Our sponsors of our brackets have also put up some prizes for these runners. So today we're featuring the red bracket with Alibre, and Alibre specializes in powerful yet easy to use 3D CAD software that's affordable. And you can complete your entire mechanical design inside of Alibre. Tons of good capabilities in Alibre. There's 3 different flavors of Alibre, priced at 3 different levels: Atom 3D, Pro, and Expert. And you can learn all about the capabilities of these different flavors of Alibre over at Alibre.com. But you can see here that it is a completely capable 3D CAD system, especially when you get into the Expert level. You can see all of the capabilities here. And what Alibre has said is, look, we really want everybody in the tournament to have access to Alibre. So we're just going to put up prizes for all of the runners. So everybody who enters the tournament, except for 1st and 2nd place, gets Atom 3D, gets a seat of Atom 3D from Alibre just for being in the tournament. 2nd place is going to get a seat of Pro, and 1st place is going to get a seat of Alibre Expert. So really huge shout out to the team at Alibre, putting up prizes for everybody. I hope next year we see some more Alibre runners. We did see one this year. We saw Ty in the very beginning of the tournament, the very first episode. And hopefully next year we'll see a lot more Alibre runners. Thank you so much to the team at Alibre. Be sure to visit them, alibre.com.
Yeah.
Are there any additional prizes? Well, Connor, I don't know if you know this or not. Oh yeah, thanks a lot to Olive Dogs. What's up, Olive Dogs? I think Olive Dogs maybe saw our extra special guest here in the background walking around and said, we got to contribute. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Thank you, Olive Dogs.
Thank you, Olive Dogs. And thank you so much to our sponsor, Revopoint. Revopoint has put up some additional prizes here as well. You can visit them at Revopoint 3D. They are the sponsor of our green bracket, which is being featured today. Revopoint was founded in 2014 with PhD experts from internationally renowned research institutes, and the Revopoint founding team is at the forefront of innovation in the 3D scanning industry. Their aim is to make 3D scanners more accessible and affordable to empower designers, makers, engineers, car enthusiasts, and many others to take advantage of cost-saving 3D model creation. And their 3D scanners, excellent performance, portability, and ease of use have made them an industry sales leader with end users in more than 150 countries and regions worldwide. So huge shout out to Revopoint. So excited to be partnering with them in this tournament. And they said, hey, Toby, why don't you put up some scanners as prizes for the top 4 finishers? And I said, whoa, we can do that? And they said, absolutely. We're going to put up scanners for 3rd and 4th place, the Revopoint Inspire scanner. So if you get to 3rd or 4th place, you're also going to get a 3D scanner. If you get to 2nd place, you're going to get a Revopoint Range 3D scanner. And for 1st place up top, the Revopoint Mini 3D scanner. So huge shout out to the team at Revopoint. Wow, indeed. AMO Alex says, wow, yep, I completely agree. Wow, indeed. Very, very impressive. Very exciting here. And there's also a Kickstarter that Revopoint is kicking off for their Morocco 3D scanner. The Morocco 3D scanner features an impressive array of tools built right into the scanner. It's got an OLED screen built right in. So that means that you don't need to hook up the Morocco scanner to your computer. You don't need to hook it up to a phone. You're able just to scan entirely with that one single device. The other innovation that's part of the Morocco scanner is that the Morocco scanner allows you to scan both large format items like a vehicle, a car, something like that, a human, and also small format items. So the Morocco scanner really gives you access to all the tools that you need kind of in an all-in-one device. And they're going to be kicking off their Kickstarter on October 25th. There's a link down in the description on how to sign up for that Kickstarter to get that 40% off. So be sure to check out the team at Revopoint 3D. Be sure to check out that Morocco scanner, the new upcoming Kickstarter. Get your 40% off early bird sign up special. And be sure to visit the team at Revopoint just in general. Really, really cool. Tayfun in the chat says, I should really look into 3D scanners, want to start that at some point. Yeah, I think it just kind of goes hand in hand with what we're doing here with all these multiple CAD systems. A lot of us are into 3D printing as well, and 3D scanning is just kind of the next tool that's just part of that toolkit. So really, really cool. Huge shout out to Revopoint. Thank you so much for being our partner. And guys, like I said, be sure to visit them. Be sure to sign up for that early bird special. And yeah, really cool. I think X Machine Engineering is saying it best here. Really cool tech. Check out photogrammetry as well if you're interested. Jed Hightower, Revopoint, very cool. Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jed.
I don't know if I can interject here real
Please.
quick, but I was talking to my teacher, Mr. Krellick, and we were his students needed to scan this like model fish that they brought in because they wanted to make it slightly bigger, and we didn't have a 3D scanner at that point. And he was trying to do it with like some phone app that he had, and he was telling me about how much of a nightmare it was, and how he like tried to 3D print some stuff and it wasn't working. And then he got an actual scanner, and it was like, I don't think it was the highest quality because he had to 3D print some parts for it. So being able to have like actually, good scanners that are not only sponsoring us, but giving a discount for the viewers, that's pretty cool in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's huge. Yeah, and I think it's also, if you're gonna reverse engineer something or retrofit something to an existing product,
Yeah.
It's so much easier to just be able to scan it, bring in that, even if it's just a close estimate, a close approximation, it's so much easier than having to take pictures of it and remodel it yourself, being able to scan it. So really excited that technology is going to be available to our winners here. Ex Machina Engineering saying true words, Connor.
Thank you.
True words, Connor. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right, guys, let's get into it here. The green bracket sponsored by Revopoint, Revopoint3D.com. We're going to see a pretty epic matchup here today between PRANAV and JAUSH. I'm very excited to get into this first matchup here between PRANAV and JAUSH. So the way that these tournaments work, and just in case you're here for the first time, is I'm going to show our runners a 2D print, and I'm going to ask them to turn that 2D print into a 3D model. This is something that we've been doing here now for quite a few weeks, and very excited to be seeing these runners here between PRANAV and JAUSH. Now, after I show the 2D print, our runners are going to take a screen capture of that 2D print, and then they're going to attempt to model it, and they're going to show us their screens while they're modeling it. The one thing I want to say to the chat is, if you want to play along with, please do it. I think it's awesome. See how good you are, but just don't answer in the chat. Today our stars are PRANAV and JAUSH. Today our stars are Jack Saito and Jehan Refaa. So let's let those stars shine. So please don't answer in the chat, but instead you could just say something like, hey, I got it correct. Please don't help in the chat. If you're here for the first time, please don't help in the chat. Let them answer it. Let them figure out if they missed a fillet, if they didn't do a shell, if they missed a dimension. Don't type in the chat what they did wrong. Let them figure it out themselves. So that's basically the rules for you in the chat. The rules for our runners are they have to enter the mass into the chat and enter it correctly. Now, if you enter the mass incorrectly, you get one chance to be incorrect. Shout out to Sayola in the chat. Welcome. Thanks so much for the super chat. Very much appreciated, Sayola. Thank you. Great to see you in here today, and thank you for that super chat. Now, our runners are allowed to answer incorrect one time. They answer incorrect one time, I'll say, I'm sorry, Connor, that is incorrect. Please try to look through the model and find your mistake, and then you can answer again correctly. If you answer incorrect the second time, then that's it. You're out. You can't answer anymore, and it's up to the other runner to earn the point. You do have to earn the point no matter what. You always have to earn the point here in this tournament. This week, during the rematch, we actually had an issue where the user came up with the correct mass on their screen, but then they typed it in wrong in the chat, and that was their second answer, and unfortunately, they lost the opportunity to win that point. So just be very careful with, typing, and we call that the Tom Smith fat finger. It actually does have a name, the Tom Smith fat finger, and that's when you have the correct answer on your screen, but you type it in wrong. Remember, you can copy and paste. That's certainly an option to help avoid that. But be careful of the Tom Smith fat finger. That sounds it sounds like that could be several meanings, and I'm not trying to say it means anything other than typing incorrectly on your 10 key.
Of course.
Alrighty. Good old Tom Smith and his fat fingers. Yes, indeed. All right, guys, let's learn a little bit about our runners today. PRANAV is joining us from India. He started using SolidWorks in 2020, and he is interested in mechanisms. And we got JAUSH. JAUSH is joining us from the United Kingdom. Started as an apprentice, been a draftsperson for 5 years, plays volleyball on the regs. I like that. And JAUSH is also using Inventor. So we got a little SolidWorks versus Inventor showdown here. Which do you think is going to be faster, Connor?
I mean, personally, I'm a big SolidWorks fan. I used that before Onshape, but
okay.
I keep mentioning my teacher. He used to use Inventor Pro a lot, and that's what he used to teach. So
okay,
I do know that Inventor does have a lot of capability, and I also know that JAUSH has been running in this tournament, I think, for a few tournaments now. I might be confusing with someone else, but
yeah, I don't think JAUSH was in this one before, unless he changed his screen name. But I know that he is definitely, a serious contender here in the tournament. Looks like we had a little dropout here from PRANAV just a moment ago. We're waiting for PRANAV to get back on here. Hope he's not having any kind of internet connectivity issues. Just waiting for him to share his screen so that we can show PRANAV, show his screen. I hope everything's going okay. We're going to get these guys off and running here in just a moment. But that's pretty interesting. So your teacher teaches Onshape now, also taught previously taught Inventor. So this will be kind of cool for him to see this Inventor versus SolidWorks showdown. Yeah. So here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to just do a quick kind of a quick, practice run here between PRANAV and JAUSH. We're going to give these guys a chance just to practice through here, and then we're going to go official. So let's just do a quick practice run. We're all still kind of working out working out the kinks. So here we go. We're going to flip over to full screen here. We're going to let these runners take a look at this challenge. Good luck to both of our runners. This first practice challenge begins in 3, 2, 1, go. So here we go. What is the mass of this part in XXX grams? Connor, you being a high school student in National Honors, you could probably figure this out just mathematically, right? Just a volume calculation.
Let's see.
Let's see what our runners are doing.
Yeah.
Put you on the spot there a little.
Yeah. I don't know. It's difficult for me to do pi math in my head.
Yeah. We got Stryker in the chat as well here today. So we can see here that our runners are attempting to figure out what is the mass of this part, and then they're going to type that mass into the chat. And this way, we will be able to officially start our match after doing just some quick testing. PRANAV on the left using SolidWorks, JAUSH on the right using Inventor. It looks like everything is working perfect. Ex Machina Engineering says, well, he needs a calculator at least. I think you could probably figure that out in your head. A little volume calculation, then a little volume times density, and you're golden. All righty. So we got JAUSH on the right using Inventor, no problem. PRANAV on the left using SolidWorks, no problem. Both of our runners were able to calculate the mass of that model. Both of our runners were able to enter that mass in the chat. I think we're ready to do this for real.
Yeah, I'm certainly excited. And yeah, now that warm-up's done, yeah.
The warm-up is done, indeed. All right, well, let's get into it here then with the official matchup here. And the way that we figure out the official matchup here in the world of TooTallToby Speed Modeling Championships is
the wheel.
The magical wheel of fate. So let's bring up the wheel of fate today, or let's try to. Whoops, the wheel of fate is not. Where is it? Oh, the wheel of fate is not ready. It's not ready to go yet. I'm sorry, guys. We're having a little minor technical issue here with the wheel of fate. It's being shy. So let's get that wheel of fate up and running here.
Let's see.
Was it on this one?
Oh, I'm a big fan of the Wheel of Fate, though, because the whole guessing thing. Like, I think that's a fun little aspect of the tournament.
I think it could be a lot of fun, right? Yeah, I think so, too. All right, let's try this again. The Wheel of Fate. Here we go. Boom, first try.
Nice. First try.
So, guys, take a look at the Wheel of Fate. Now, remember, or maybe not remember, but just so everybody knows, before we do the Wheel of Fate, I like to shuffle everything. So if you want to guess right now, you can. If you want to hold off for just a moment, I'm going to shuffle all these numbers. So let's do a quick shuffle here. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. Mix up these numbers. You can see we got a lot of numbers on here. One of these models is a sheet metal challenge. PRANAV in the chat says, all the best to JAUSH. What a gentleman. PRANAV is truly a gentleman. All the best to JAUSH. Okay, so let's see what we got here for answers. We got some good answers coming in here. 59, 63, Sahil 60, lock in my answer, very nice. Gary Bruce coming in with 41. We got Jed Hightower 62, Ex Machina Engineering 41, Rob 60, 62. Wow, there's so many answers here. I think I'm just gonna let this thing rip, and then we will find out who the correct person was.
63.
63. Let's go, Vicky Chong. All right, here we go. So let's see how the wheel spins. Let's see what we end up with. And this is how we determine our official.
Ooh, 56.
56. Okay, that is a good one. 56. Okay. So this is going to be a good one, I think. I think you guys, the wheel has chosen wisely, as always. Let's give a quick shout out here to anybody who answered 56.
I think Joko and Jurgen have both answered 63. Nah, that's 63. My bad.
56. Okay, let's see. Did anybody answer 56? It was Stefan. Shout out to Stefan here coming in with 56. And Stefan is the winner. Congratulations to Stefan.
Congratulations.
So, Connor, you've seen a few episodes of this tournament. What do you think as far as advice for the runners on this first matchup?
I say that first matchup, I definitely have seen, like, the jitters getting to people, the nervousness. It's a bit nerve-wracking. I can definitely understand it. But I suppose
the whole world is watching.
Yeah, whole world's watching. You know, it's very stressful. But I would say, like, just calm down and remember that answering fast does not matter if you don't have the correct answer. Like, remember to be precise over speed.
Okay, I think that's great advice. I think you've got a wonderful career in front of you in this speed modeling arena. So
thank you.
I can't wait to see when you start competing in this thing. This is going to be good. Great to have you here behind the scenes, seeing everything that's happening. And good luck to both the runners. Yep, I agree. And guys, we're going to flip over to full screen. And now we're going to see our very first matchup of the day between SolidWorks and Inventor. Who is faster? This CAD versus CAD battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? Tolerance is plus or minus 3 grams. So our runners are grabbing a screen capture of this print. They are moving it over to their second screen, and they are jumping into their CAD system of choice and beginning their models. If you're watching from home, be sure to grab a screen capture yourself, and let's take a look. You know, if you're watching from home on the TV, another way that you could view a screen capture would be to also watch from your mobile device.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe ask a couple people in the house to watch from their mobile device. You know?
I support that.
Yep. And that way you'd be able to pause the video when the 2D print comes up, and you'd be able to look at that and follow along with the action and then continue watching on your screen. Maybe if you have several people sitting around on the couch watching, get them all to bring it up on their phones.
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe everybody could hit the like button as well.
Oh, yeah.
This CAD vs. CAD battle is sponsored by Revopoint. Revopoint sponsoring the green bracket. C skimming. Okay, remember, we're not going to answer in the chat. Appreciate that answer, but we're not going to answer in the chat. C skimming. So I do appreciate that very fast answer. Let's see here. Cool part. I like the lubrication guide. Okay. Yep. Nice. Let's see here. Let's see here. Nice part. Looks like fun. Yep. All right, this is an awesome part, says Nico Concarne. All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. So we see that both of our runners, what they do as always is they look at the 2D print and they try to come up with a plan for how to create this 3D model from that 2D print. And it's not always easy. You know, it's not always easy to just come up with that plan. It's very tempting just to kind of jump right in and begin sketching. And sometimes that's the best approach. Sometimes it's better to kind of take your time and figure things out. In this case, we see that both of our runners using Inventor and using SolidWorks are taking a very similar approach, kind of using the layout sketch approach.
Yeah, I always think it's interesting watching the tournaments and how oftentimes both runners will, even if they're using different software, start off in a very similar way, which I think it just shows like the expertise that both runners have.
Yeah, I agree. And there are some kind of staples across any CAD system, you know, when it comes to creating a 3D model. If you're working from a blueprint or if you're working from a napkin sketch, you want to kind of start out with a game plan. Like, how am I going to model this thing? What's going to be my first sketch? What's going to be my first sketch plane?
Yeah.
Does the model have symmetry? You know, in this case, the model does have symmetry. So I think we're going to end up seeing our runners taking advantage of that and kind of working from the center outward.
Yeah.
But will we do that by doing mid-plane extrusions like what PRANAV is doing? Will we do that by just modeling half the model and then mirroring it? You know, it could be a variety of solutions here, and we're going to see what happens. But PRANAV is really off to a great start here on the left using SolidWorks, kind of getting in there, quickly creating the layout geometry using SolidWorks, and then taking that layout geometry and using it to construct his features. There's a feature in SolidWorks called a shared sketch, where you're able to take one sketch and use it over and over and over again. And PRANAV really did a masterful job of using that.
Yeah. Oh, big shout out to Ricardo from Italy.
Oh, all right. Ricardo Jean is here. Welcome, welcome. Says GG Players. Great to see you in here, Ricardo. It was wonderful seeing you in the tournament a few weeks ago. If you guys didn't get a chance to see Ricardo's match, be sure to go back and watch that episode. It was pretty darn epic.
Yeah. I think it's interesting how JAUSH has the mass already kind of set up there.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, there's a lot of CAD systems, including SolidWorks, including Onshape, where you can actually just have the mass shown the whole time, and it can be a great way to save time in these kinds of speed modeling speed modeling competitions. If your CAD system has that functionality, be sure to take advantage of it. Onshape didn't have it built in, and so somebody just wrote a quick what's called a feature script. I don't know if you guys are learning about that in Onshape, but a way that end users can create custom features in Onshape. And yeah, by creating a feature script, they were able to just have the mesh shown automatically.
That's cool.
Yeah. Looks like JAUSH is struggling a little with that that end face being planar, but okay, it looks like he resolved it somehow. I don't even know how he resolved that there. I don't even see that profile entity, but he's got it.
That Inventor wizardship.
Yeah, an Inventor wizardry for sure.
Just out of curiosity, what was there any like inspiration for this part?
I mean, a lot of these parts, a lot of times I just take inspiration just from being out. If I'm out in a shop or if I'm out in the field and I see a part, a lot of times I will end up just kind of trying to model it up. Sometimes I'll see parts like in old, old engineering books. You know, I like to look through old books and kind of see what has changed and what has stayed the same.
Nice.
And sometimes as I'm doing that, I will find a part and I'm like, oh, that would be great for the tournament.
Nice.
But most of the time I don't, really, I think I could say almost 100% of the time, I don't make the parts exactly the same as they are in the books or exactly the same as they are in the real world for a couple of reasons. One reason is just because it's often not feasible to have all those dimensions.
Yeah.
Fillets in particular are kind of difficult on that front. It's easier for me to include nice crisp dimensions to sharp corners. But beyond that, it's also just because I don't want anybody to be able to like find an old engineering book and go through it and then know all the models that are going to be in the next contest.
Yeah.
You know, I want every model to be pretty unique, have its own TooTallToby spin on it. So, you know, certainly as we get into more and more tournaments in the future, we're going to be reusing some of these models with some changes, some dimensional changes, but they'll be reused in the future. But as far as like old models from other places, I always try to put my own spin on them. I always want to, you know, make them a little bit unique for the tournament.
Nice.
Big B Forms AZ says, you're doing a great job, Toby. Thank you. I needed that this morning. I do feel like I'm kind of easing into the groove a little bit more now, so thank you.
Oh, I like Design Pool's idea.
Design Pool says, you should 3D print miniatures of the parts and sell them as collectibles. Oh, hashtag business ideas. I like it. I like it. I like it. Guys, check out how close our runners are now. We got a little bit off topic there, and while I was looking away, I see that Pranav is already trying to come up with an answer here, inputting his answer, and that answer is, what are we on here, 56? That answer was 4112 grams, and that is correct.
Congratulations.
So, wow. We got a little, I apologize to the chat, we got a little off topic there with our discussion, but while we were doing that, Pranav really just tore through that model, created all that geometry. We can see that JAUSH is right behind him, but coming up with maybe an incorrect mass there when he came up behind him, 4337 I see on the screen. Oh, he just wants to close it. JAUSH is just like, I'm done. Next model, I don't care.
Yeah, JAUSH is here for business, not games.
Yeah, JAUSH is here for business. We're going to try and make sure that we stay a little more focused on the conversation this time around. Nicely done, Pranav. JAUSH was the first one in there saying, GG, well done, man. Actually, Tom Schnarr's got in there before him. Very nice, very nice. Awesome job, guys. Let's give a GG to both of our runners in that matchup. A GG to the winner, a GG to both of our runners. Man, that was crazy. I would have restarted ages ago. Nice. That is cool. Okay, so let's make sure that we mark that down. That one went to Pranav, our good friend from India. Congratulations. And that is one of the matches. Now, this does go to a kind of like a best of 3 or first person to win 2 matches. Yeah. So very nicely done. All righty, Striker's got to go. See you later, Striker. Thanks for joining us, bro. Enjoy the replay. If you watch the replay, be sure to like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, baby.
TooTallToby.com.
So, really cool matchup here that we got with Pranav and with JAUSH. Let's learn a little bit more about our runners. He loves rendering as a pastime. Okay, I like rendering. I like creating some cool like photorealistic renderings. That's pretty fun. And plays tabla and likes painting. Nice. And tabla is a little a drum. That's very popular in Indian music. So that is very cool. And JAUSH has an overwhelming list of games to play.
I know how that feels.
Yep. And has lots to learn. Cool. So we're going to talk a little bit about strategy. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about games to play. But before we do, let's just rip the wheel so we can get things started here. Keep this presentation moving along today. So let's flip over to the wheel. What do you guys think? What are we going to see from the wheel on this spin? We're going to let everybody in the audience have a chance to to answer here. I'm going to take a quick sip of my water. I got a little coffee or something in my throat.
Going back to 63, agreeing with the heel right here. Talking about water and possibly stickers. Big shout out to TooTallToby.com.
Yeah, nice. TooTallToby sticker there on the water bottle. That's what we like to see. All right, guys. Some say 41 is the new 32. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice observation there, Ex Machina Engineering. Just kind of hanging in there. Let's let it rip and see what happens, everybody.
Moment of fate.
Here we go. The Revopoint Wheel of Fate is spinning, and it's looking like 53. 53. We like that. 53.
Any winners today?
So let's remove that. Let's see if anybody came up with 53. No one. Ooh. Goose egg. Nobody came up with 53. Sorry, guys. The house wins. Better luck next time. So what do you think after watching that first match, Connor? What advice would you give to these runners?
To be quite honest, these runners are running at a very high level. So I don't know how great my advice would be, but I would just say, again, I think it was good how both of them formulated their plan beforehand and then tried to execute on it. I think that both of them were very, very close in the time that they had designing. And overall, I'm very excited for this next match because of the closeness of the last one.
Yeah, I gotta say that's a great summary, and I completely agree with you. I think that this is going to be a really good match. I just want to kind of get right into it here.
Yeah.
So let's flip over to full screen, guys. I hope you guys are ready. JAUSH, good luck. I hope that you win this point, just because I want to see all 3 matches, because I love watching guys who are so closely matched.
Yeah.
And good luck, PRANAV. I also hope you win this match, just because I'm really just rooting for everybody in the tournament.
Yeah.
So good luck to both of our runners. Let's flip over to full screen here. This epic CAD vs. CAD, SolidWorks vs. Inventor CAD battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this part in x.xxx pounds? We got a pounds model, everybody. Tolerance is plus or minus 0.005. We got an IPS model here for everybody. Both of our runners are already getting into it. Let's flip over to our CAD versus CAD battle, see what these guys are coming up with. We see that PRANAV on the left is once again starting out very similar shape to the last one, huh? The two circles and the tangent lines between them. This is PRANAV's specialty. The Wheel of Fate is being kind to him. And so, very nice part here, working in IPS, and we're gonna see how our runners do in this matchup. SolidWorks versus Onshape, and I got a feeling this is gonna be pretty darn epic, this matchup. JAUSH, PRANAV seemed like he was gonna get that sketch finished first, but it was actually JAUSH who got it finished first and got it extruded into the 3rd dimension. So very impressive there from JAUSH, kind of almost a coming from behind story on that one.
Yeah.
PRANAV still struggling to get those contours selected and get that thing out into the 3rd dimension. Let's see if this gives JAUSH the opportunity that he's looking for to springboard ahead and secure the point.
Yeah. Oh, I'm seeing Gary's comment right there. I'll bet it's a lot more complicated than it looks. That's definitely true. Our CAD teacher, as like a demonstration of how advanced that the runners are in the TooTallToby tournaments, challenged us to run at the same time as them. And we were maybe like the first 3 steps by the time they were done, this like 19-step part.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a great observation, a great point there, and definitely something that I've noticed as well. I've done the same thing where I've tried to kind of run against these guys, and it's very impressive how fast they are able to complete the models, even compared to how fast I'm able to complete them. This model does have a little bit of what you might call an Ivan exploit thwart in it, in the sense that there's an element of this model. There's a taper to this model. If you look at this model from the top view, you can see that there's a taper. And the reason we do that sometimes is because we want to thwart anyone who's trying to exploit the models using the Ivan exploit. So whenever there's a taper like that, it really kind of locks down the importance of the location of some features. Yeah. So that taper, it may seem kind of arbitrary, but it is functional. It's functional for this part, of course. And then it's also functional because it means that you can't just kind of drop your features anywhere. You have to really make sure you locate them correctly.
Yeah. I have an exploit. It's very cruel if you don't see it and someone else does. Yeah, I don't know. I always thought it was super cool how like that out of the box thinking of just like I don't need to put these in the exact spot. I can just place them wherever I want to, and it'll still be the same mass.
Yeah, I completely agree. The Ivan exploit is legit and epic. So interesting here, we see PRANAV is now able to create that boss kind of over on the right. You can see that this is yet another one of these models that kind of looks like a spaceship. Kind of almost looks like a ship from. I always think these look like ships from Star Wars.
Yeah.
And we see that JAUSH on the right is really not holding back at all this time around. He's really just going for it. He's completely locked in, not going to make any mistakes, just going to make sure that he does this thing start to finish, has his game plan. We see PRANAV on the left using a little bit of, okay, all right. Oh, nice and clean. I was going to say some sloppy sketching, but he got in there and cleaned that up pretty quick. And it's pretty interesting, you know, some of these features, the way that the drawing is defined, you have to understand whether the features are in fact going perpendicular to the wall or whether it's a straight cut from the end. And that's something that you can figure out by looking at the drawing. And you can see in this case, it's in that section view in the upper left. And that's, you know, that's not always the easiest thing to do, especially if you're trying to also leverage the use of tools like thin feature extrusions and cuts and thicken and things like that. You know, sometimes you don't get exactly what you wanted from the cut, but it looks like both of our runners are understanding that idea. Both of our runners are getting in there and creating those cuts the correct way, and that's always good to see. So we see JAUSH here kind of tearing through this model like we talked about earlier, really taking no prisoners. Yeah. JAUSH is ready to lock this thing in, coming up with a mirror here, really creating a lot of what this geometry looks like, this kind of spaceship-looking geometry. Yeah. Making sure that he goes through, doesn't miss any features. I love seeing Inventor. I don't really get to see Inventor as much as I get to see some of the other CAD programs, and so it's always interesting to see kind of the tools that are in the different programs, like there, how JAUSH was able to quickly select those edges for that fillet.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just like, as someone who's like trying to learn all the CAD programs, like I've kind of hit that point where I realize that I don't know a lot of stuff. Like it's this rabbit hole goes way deeper than I thought it did. And seeing them do this, like with that in mind, it's like I'm watching a bunch of wizards perform magical spells against each other.
Yeah, yeah, it is a wonderful inflection point when you, you know, when you feel that way, when you feel like you're able to know how much you don't know. Yeah, you know.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's great having you here. Thanks for joining us in the studio today.
Thank you for letting me come and go commentate on this.
Yeah, this is great. So it looks like JAUSH is now going to be creating some of the geometry at the one end of this model. You can see that this is a feature here at the end of the model that has what's called a spherical radius. Spherical radius is something that we occasionally see in engineering. It's not really that common depending on what field you're in, but it's good to understand what it takes to construct a sphere. You know, it's a good like a tech tip video that you might look up online sometime, how to construct a sphere in this program or in that program. I mean, in any CAD program, it's always going to be the same couple of steps, but it's good to kind of understand how to do that for when it does come up, whether it's in this situation or whether it's in, you know, more commonly it would be in like a ball joint where you need to create the housing for it and the ball itself. You do need to kind of know how to construct a sphere or a spherical cut in your CAD program. So we see that JAUSH was able to get in there and create that geometry, and now he looks to be constructing the geometry that he needs to cut away the model, maybe even just inferencing the existing edges of the model and using those existing edges, which is pretty powerful stuff. Yeah. Good when your CAD system can do that.
Looks like we're starting to come up on the final leg of this.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's looking like JAUSH is kind of looking over his model, doing what we often call the final spin, where you look at the model, you look at the print, and we're going to see here what he comes up with as far as a mass. JAUSH has entered into the chat 7.030. That is not correct. That is not correct. That is not correct. So maybe JAUSH needs to just re-examine what's going on with his model, making sure that he has got, looks like I just saw him make an adjustment there, so it looks like maybe he did discover. So we're going to see what he comes up with now. JAUSH has answered 6.088 pounds. That is not correct.
Oh, that is rough.
Oh, man. JAUSH, not correct. So unfortunately, JAUSH is not going to be able to earn the point for this round. Ooh, man. So that means that we turn to the 5-minute clock, and the 5-minute clock gets dropped on PRANAV. And that means that PRANAV has 5 minutes to come up with the correct answer. Really only 4 minutes and 50 seconds now to come up with the correct answer and to enter that answer into the chat. Now, PRANAV can answer incorrectly 1 time. If PRANAV answers incorrectly 2 times, then we're going to get our wish, and we're going to get to see a 3rd match between these 2 titans.
Oh, yeah.
2 killers. JAUSH is entering an F in the chat. If you guys want to share JAUSH's sentiment, please enter an F in the chat.
F.
I'm sure that we all know how that feels. So I will join you here in solidarity, JAUSH. Yep, F in the chat is, we have all been there. We have all, whether it's, submitting an answer, lots of solidarity here in the chat. You guys are indeed the best chat ever. We all know how this feels, JAUSH. Whether it's, submitting an answer on an exam, doing a speed modeling contest, or dare I say, even submitting a drawing for approval, getting it back all redlined up and having your redliner be like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, did you not learn anything in school? And you just have to be like, I'm sorry. And then try again and try again and try again.
Yeah.
So we see now that PRANAV has 3 minutes and 39 seconds left to come up with an answer here. We're going to see how he does. JAUSH is saying, well done, PRANAV. You've got this. Wow.
I'm loving the sportsmanship here.
Yeah. Great sportsmanship. Great sportsmanship.
Yes. I think we all agree with that sentiment, Machina.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and PRANAV coming in with an answer. 5.723 pounds. And that is correct. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Great job to PRANAV. That's going to earn him the victory cat. That is going to earn him a spot in the Elite 8. So congratulations to PRANAV.
Congratulations.
Wow, wow, wow. That is so epic. Great job. Let's give him one more round of applause. Great job, PRANAV. Man, oh man, oh man. That is so epic. Oh man, I'm excited here. This is so cool. So GG to both of our runners. Midlife Chaos says GG.
Yeah.
PRANAV, JAUSH, great sportsmanship from both of our runners. And what a nice epic matchup between them. Man, that was so cool. That is awesome. That's what it's all about. So congratulations to both of our runners. Thank you for that awesome battle. GG to both of our runners. Well played. Awesome work from both of them. Very close matches the whole time. I see here in the CAD vs. CAD overlay that it looks like JAUSH was able to figure out his error. I see his mass up top here, 5.7 pounds. I assume that is the correct answer. 5.723 is the correct answer, plus or minus 0.005 pounds. So very nice to both of our runners. And congratulations to JAUSH. 5.723. He found it. He found it. Valiant effort, JAUSH. Yep. Huge respect. Huge respect indeed. Yeah. Awesome job.
Great run to both runners.
Yeah. Great run to both runners. Yes, indeed. Nice job, everybody. Jurgen is here. What's up, Jurgen? Welcome, welcome. And Valish Shavina is here. Welcome. Congratulations. Yes, indeed. All right. Awesome. Lots of love in the chat. I love seeing that as well. So awesome job to our runners in match one. Match one was sponsored by Revopoint. The green bracket sponsored by Revopoint. Be sure to check them out. Check out the link in the description for the early bird special for the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And let's also take a look here at match number 2. Our second match is going to be between Jack Saito, Nintendo enthusiast, and Jehan Refaa, CSWA undergraduate mechatronic. Guys, don't forget, if you enjoy what you're seeing here, be sure to like. We got 69 people watching. We got 70 people watching. We got 44 likes. Let's be sure to smash that like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're here for the first time. And, of course, be sure to share and reshare. If you see what we're doing here online, and you like what we're doing, take a screen capture of it, share it on your social network, or just send it out to your friends and family via email, or even just print out what we're doing, like on a physical piece of paper, and hand it to somebody in your life. Hand it to the cashier at the food store.
Oh yeah.
And say, you got to check this out, CAD vs. CAD. It's pretty epic. You can sign up for a free account over at TooTallToby.com. We do have a free account sign-up special going on right now.
Oh yeah.
You can sign up. You can get some free TooTallToby cash. You can use that to buy a 10-pack of PDF practice models so you can practice yourself, or if you're an instructor, you can use them for your class. And of course, you can support the channel through Super Chat and Super Thanks. The Super Chat is enabled. It's a little like $sign thing down at the bottom of the chat. Please support the channel, and if you're watching the replay, you can use what's called Super Thanks.
Always appreciated. You
can also get one of these sweet shirts that Connor and I are wearing. The TooTallToby shirt is indeed the softest shirt in the CAD game. These shirts, they really do everything. They are very soft.
Oh yeah.
You can wear them multiple days in a row. They're slimming. They make your body look better. They make you look more muscular. They also help you actually with doing 3D CAD faster.
Yeah, it's strange, and it's not really documented that well, but like it's some research studies have shown that if you wear the TooTallToby shirt, which is, by the way, as you said, incredibly soft and slimming, you do become slightly faster in your CAD adventures.
Yeah. One peer-reviewed study is saying up to 13% faster.
Yeah.
So, just keep that in mind. These are available, limited quantity right now, but visit us at TooTallToby.com and you can get a hold of these shirts.
Oh yeah.
And again, thank you so much to Revopoint, the green bracket, and thank you to Alibre sponsoring the red bracket, which we're about to move into here. And I think, I have to look real quick here. I think JAUSH was the last man standing for Inventor. So we're not going to see Inventor in the Elite 8 this year. So congratulations to all the Inventor runners. And JAUSH was the final Inventor runner. So congratulations to PRANAV. And that means that our green bracket is going to have SolidWorks as a champion of the green bracket. It'll either be Aaron C., who's in the chat right now, or PRANAV, both running SolidWorks. So that's pretty cool. You can see our black bracket. The champion will either be an Onshape user or a SolidWorks user. The blue bracket, our champion will either be a ANSYS Space Clean user or a SolidWorks user. And we're going to find out in just a moment here who's going to be in the Elite 8 matchup for the red bracket. Sponsored by Alibre. Visit them at Alibre.com. Huge sponsor of the channel.
Yeah, big shout out to the reward of the free Alibre product.
Free CAD for everyone, a lifetime seat, a perpetual seat of Alibre for everyone who's running in the tournament. Very cool. And hopefully we'll see some more Alibre in the leaderboard, and we'll see some more Alibre in the tournament next year.
Very excited.
But now we're going to get into a match between Onshape and SolidWorks, between Jack Saito in the United States and Jehan Refaa in Egypt. And so let's learn a little bit about our runners. So Jack Saito is a Nintendo enthusiast. He's been using CAD for about 4 years, and his toothbrush is actually pink. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, good to know. And Jehan Refaa is an undergraduate mechatronics engineer and hopes one day to work at Boston Dynamics.
Very cool. Yeah. Boston Dynamics makes some pretty cool stuff. Check them out.
Yeah, that's a great career path for an engineering undergraduate and mechatronics engineer. Very, very impressive. So let's do a quick kind of a warm-up. We like to do a warm-up match here to make sure that we have everything ready on our end. Connor and I are trying to make sure that we've got everything ready that our runners need. There's still a sheet metal model in the Wheel of Fate, believe it or not. Yeah, so I don't know who's going to end up getting that. Maybe no one, right? Maybe that sheet metal model will make its way into the Elite 8.
Very excited to see where that ends up.
Yeah, very excited as well. All right, well, let's take a look here. We're going to flip over to full screen. So let's jump over here to full screen, and let's give our Onshape and our SolidWorks runner a quick practice run here. This is just for practice. In 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? So both of our runners are going to grab this model. They are going to attempt to turn this model into a 3D CAD model. let's flip over to our CAD versus CAD layout and see how they do with this challenge. Our sponsor here for the red bracket is Alibre. So thank you so much to Alibre for sponsoring the red bracket. And thank you to SolidWorks for sponsoring our blue bracket. But thank you to Alibre for sponsoring the red bracket. And our runners here are Jack Saito on the left, running Onshape, using that feature script we were talking about earlier.
Oh, yeah.
You can see Jack popping out that feature script. And Jehan Refaa from Egypt running SolidWorks. Jehan answering 3159, that is correct. Aaron Christensen answering 3.159. And also not in the competition. But, so okay, yep, good. And Jack Saito showing the answer. Don't forget, you got to enter it in the chat. There we go. Jack Saito entering it in the chat as well. And that is our quick test, just to make sure that everything is working correctly. I think this all looks pretty good.
I agree.
I think we're going to see a really cool matchup here today between Jehan Refaa from Egypt and Jack Saito from the United States, Nintendo enthusiast. So let's go back here. Let's go back and let's find out what the wheel has in store for our runners. Big moment here. Big moment.
Get some guesses in the chat.
Let's get some guesses in the chat here. Let me just make a quick note here on this one. This was Jane.
I think we all know what the correct guess is here. 63, of course.
Okay. Yep. Connor is coming in with a guess of 63. Good guess. I like that.
Thank you. All
right. Looks like everybody's getting in here. Bring on the wheel of death. Sis friend says. Yep, that's good. I like that. All right. Wheel of boom. All right. Let's let it rip here and see what happens. And then we'll find out who the correct person in the chat was. This is very important that we find this out. Okay, it's looking like it's going to be... Oh, it crossed over 59. At the last moment. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. This is a really good one.
Any winners?
All right, 59. Did anybody guess 59? Nico Concarne.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice. And you know what? I'm going to give Aaron C. partial credit because he did answer 3159. So, okay, so we're going to give a little bit of credit here to Aaron C. as well. Partial credit. Nico Concarne, though, locked it in. 59 with an exclamation point. He knew. He just knew. That's it. Nico Concarne, congratulations. Well done. Let's remove 59 from the wheel, and let's get ourselves set up for this next battle. And Connor, what do you think? Do you have any advice for these runners, having watched their practice round?
I mean, I would just say the same advice that I gave to the previous runners, which is just, again, make sure to focus more on precision than speed, because being fast doesn't really do much if it's not correct.
Yeah, that's very true. I think I don't mean to celebrate the loss of one of our runners, but I think that JAUSH found that out.
Yeah, I think JAUSH did run pretty well though.
He did,
but
he did.
Yeah,
yeah. But that's what happens if you answer incorrectly. You get knocked out. Yep.
Not yet.
Nothing else. Yep. We almost revealed by accident there, guys. There was almost a misclick. All right, here we go. This is going to be a good one. Fast and accurate. Fully defined sometimes. Yep. Okay, I like that. Yeah. Oh, I said my number after it was announced. Okay, 59. All right, there you go. Tom Schnars gets credit as well. Nice job, Tom Schnars.
Big shout out.
Big shout out to Tom Schnars. Good friend of the chef.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. This CAD battle between the United States and Egypt, between Onshape and SolidWorks. This CAD battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? This part's a little bit, I don't know what you would say. There's a lot going on in this drawing, right? But it looks more complicated than it is. I mean, I had to include that extra section view up top just to say that the section view remains the same as it bends around that corner. What is the mass of this part? Welcome. Don't forget, Ty. We're gonna try not to advise. Okay. I know it's just you just can't help yourself. Okay, our runners are getting into this here. Let me flip over to this CAD versus CAD battle. See how our runners handle this part here. DUCT. Wow, wow, wow. Yes, there's a lot I see in the chat. The chat is going crazy. Geez, Toby, there's a lot going on in this print.
Yeah.
The Wheel of Fate can be very cruel at times, I know. But this is one of the parts that we've got. And Nico Concarne says, sorry, everyone, for choosing 59. Yeah, that's good. Thank you, Nico Concarne. Appreciate that. Lots of Toby features here, says Rich Penn. Yeah, I completely agree with that as well, Rich. Shout out to Rich Penn, by the way, sent me a nice message this week, has some good ideas for maybe some upcoming challenges in the tournament. I know I didn't respond yet, Rich, but chat, this is my response. Thank you. Message received and great suggestions. Okay, so we see that both of our runners are starting out here, creating this model. So interesting, right? Once again, both of our models, 2 different CAD systems, 2 different parts of the world, starting with the exact same feature. There's a lot of ways you could start this model. And the fact that they started with the exact same feature is so interesting. So interesting that they both have the same thing on their screen right now. Yeah. This is amazing. Stefan in the chat saying, go Jehan. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Scary part. Gary Bruce says, scary part, eek, eek, eek. Yes. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this part, a lot going on in this print. As always, we have to look at the model. We have to ask ourselves, like, what are some things that we see about the model? Is the model symmetric, right? That's usually the first thing that our runners will look at. And then you have to kind of start planning to yourself, how am I going to build this model? How am I going to unbuild this model? You know, that's another big challenge when it comes to looking at a 2D print, trying to figure out what's going to be my first feature, what's going to be my first sketch, but really, how am I going to build this entire thing? What's going to be my game plan? And kind of coming up with that game plan first and then getting into the model really often is the difference. That's one. If you want to see somebody who really does a good job of that, watch some of the Ivan videos. Ivan does a great job of kind of looking over the whole print and just thinking to himself, like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. And then he gets into the CAD and starts putting his plan into action. Yeah. And that's also something that I teach when I'm doing the tutorial videos. Whenever you see me post a video that's like, here's how I would do this practice model, or here's a tutorial, that's always my first step. It's always look at the print and come up with a game plan. Even if it's going to take you a minute or two, look at the print and come up with a game plan, and then start putting that game plan into action. And by doing that, I think a lot of times you'll discover features that will maybe be, problematic downstream.
Yeah, it's definitely no fun when you're like just trying to improvise the part. You're on a roll, and then one single feature comes up, and you have to like do 90 extra steps or deconstruct the entire structure you were already making just for that specific feature.
Yeah, I completely agree. Ivan in the chat says, this is not a hard part when you're watching and all relaxed.
Yeah.
And everyone agrees. So true. Yeah. All right, well, we see Jack Saito on the left using Onshape, already done creating kind of the opening up at the top and then getting into the creation of the elbow shape, we would call that typically, the shape that's kind of bending around. Jehan Refaa on the right, creating 2 what are almost certainly profile sketches. This is more the technique that I would typically use, and I think that there's a lot of validity into the approach that she's using there. I think it's going to be really interesting when we start doing these tournaments live, and then there really won't be a way for the runners to see what the other runner is doing.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be, that's going to add another element to these tournaments. I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. But tricky part like this, sometimes there's going to be a lot of different ways to do it.
Yeah. Very excited for the live matches as well. Those are always super fun to watch and just sound like they're going to be very, very fun to, just see both the runners in the flesh together.
Yeah.
Competing.
Yep. Yeah. Maybe we can put heart monitors on both of them.
That would be cool.
Yeah, see how intense it really gets.
Yeah. Got the thing that you get the doctor where they like squeeze it on your arm. Get the blood pressure, heart rate, the whole thing, get all their vitals.
Yeah, full vitals being streamed. First ever CAD versus CAD speed modeling tournament with the vitals being streamed.
Yeah.
So both of our runners, I think it's fair to say, maybe struggling just a little bit with this model. I mean, I know there's a lot going on in this model, but it can be, it can be kind of hard to figure out how to create geometry like this. Tricky, a little bit more on the tricky side compared to some of the other features that we've created. In this tournament, we always try to have a lot of variety in the types of models that are being created and the types of skills that are being challenged. And, you've seen that with the implementation of the sheet metal challenges. And now you're seeing it with a little bit more of a shape that, it's definitely not a machine-y shape. It's more of like a plastic injection mold shape, or, I guess these ducts usually are more like a different molding process.
Yeah. It seems like these are a lot of the parts are for like physical solids, like interacting with solids, and this part seems a lot more to be like a liquid-based part.
Yeah, exactly. Machining versus like a molding of some sort. Yeah, exactly. That's a great point. And when you get into those types of shapes, you can get into this kind of swoopy, lofty type of scenario. But we can see here that it looks like Jack Saito on the left has come up with a plan. He's kind of getting back in the groove, and we see the same thing from Jehan Refaa on the right, back into the action, back into just creating the geometry and moving forward again. I think there was a moment there where both of our runners were kind of trying to reevaluate their initial plan and determine whether or not it was valid. But now we see Jack Saito on the left looking like he's trying to merge these two faces together using a command in Onshape called Loft. That's certainly a valid approach here. I think it makes the most sense when you're going from a smaller profile to a larger profile. And I think that we're probably going to see the same thing from Jehan Refaa here on the right.
Yeah.
And I think Aaron Christensen in the chat says, I think I've got it. Interesting.
Nice.
And I saw the question came in from Ivan. Ivan had said, is there any chance we can pause the show while I go grab a bowl of cereal? So, yeah, sure. Request approved. Let's see here. This one has so many ways to approach the model. Yeah, it's very true. It's so interesting to me that they both started with that kind of upper section.
Yeah.
Like that's not, I think where a lot of engineers would typically examine this thing, they would see at the bottom of the model, there's those two tabs sticking out. That's like where the footprint of the model is. That's usually where engineers would start 3D CAD modeling. Yeah. But both of our runners in this example decided to start out with that upper shape, kind of get that upper shape in place, and then I think they're going to try and blend that upper shape down into that lower shape. And very, very valid approach. Excited to see kind of how they end up working through this thing using that approach.
Yeah. Maybe this is like some like hidden speed modeler knowledge. And it's like, we know not to start there. That's like some forbidden bottom land. We have to start at the top,
Yeah, I mean, sometimes order of features matters. I don't think in the case of starting at the bottom and working your way up top, it matters in this case. But there's definitely, even in this model, there's definitely some features that could be saved for later that might make things a little bit easier. And this is where, as us being experienced users, and we have to kind of let the runners figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tracy Chadwick in the chat. What's up, Chadwick? Welcome. Says, I just joined. What a part. Yes, this one there's a lot of magenta notes on this one, as they say in the world of TooTallToby. What's up?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking at this part, and it looks a lot like I have this like for the rain gutters, like a connector part for there, just extend to a separate tube. But I think it's always interesting trying to, like someone who isn't designing these parts, try to imagine like a use purpose for every part that's in these tournaments.
Yeah. Some of them have legitimate use purpose. Some of them are, just a little bit more like me trying to come up with some features that I think will be good to challenge the runners,
Yeah.
And so, this is a good part. I'm very interested to see. It's very interesting to see our runners kind of working their way through this and trying to come up with an answer. And you can tell that they both have a plan. They both have the initial concept down. They both kind of know what they're trying to do. But if you don't use these features that often, it can be kind of difficult to just jump in and start using them and using them successfully. So
yeah, I do really like that part of this match, how it's like it definitely seems like there's a lot more like follow through in plans. Like there's a lot of prep in this, and you can definitely tell from their like they seem to be double checking all the parts they're doing and being very what's the word, particular about how they create this part.
Yeah, great point there. And when it comes to this print, if we show the print again, I don't want to miss out on too much of the action, but if we show the print again, you can see that maybe our runners are taking an approach where they're kind of trying to get some of these key dimensions here from the section view, really trying to get those dimensions locked in, and then they're going to be able to use those almost as a layout sketch. And it looks like both of our runners are kind of taking that layout sketch approach. So I totally get what they're trying to do here, and that's really a valid approach. It's definitely something that you want to try to do. It looks like Jehan Refaa has maybe pivoted her strategy a little bit, and it's going to be interesting to see if that pays off with regards to kind of order creation and the way that some of those profiles were originally created. So I'm excited to see how she handles this next couple of features. This is one of these models where once you actually get it working, it's just going to come together really fast. Just boom, 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 boom.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh in the chat is saying that he might have the answer.
Oh, nice. Midlife Chaos says they might start calling you Toby the Terrible after these designs. Brutal. Yeah. So they're going to get tougher. They're going to keep getting tougher. Here we are in the round of 16, but next week we're going to already be in the Elite 8. Yeah. And we're not going to see the same level of simplicity as we did back in the round of 32 when we get into the Elite 8 and when we get into the Final 4. We need to really challenge these runners and give them a chance to struggle with some geometry. And some of this geometry is going to have features that are not necessarily the easiest to create, but that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I think it's cool watching, like, I'll watch the round of 32, and you can, like you said, you can definitely tell how it's a much more simpler part. But then as we, like, progress into the higher level rounds, it's almost cinematic, the way it's, like, these two titans of engineering just, like, creating these incredibly complex parts. And you just, like, watch, again, wizard's the only word I can use. It's like they're creating this out of nothing. And just these two experts just clashing against each other.
Yeah.
And I think it's incredibly interesting to watch the progression of the parts as you can see the progression of the skill in each competitor.
Yeah, I gotta say I agree. I agree 100%. Just gonna flip my camera here so it looks more like I'm talking to you.
I see.
I'm gonna do the same thing with yours. That way it'll look like we're actually talking to each other when we're looking at each other. I should have done this at the start of the match, but it's all right.
All good.
There we go.
Cool.
Hello.
Yeah. Now we are conversing with each other.
Conversing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. All righty. So getting back to our match here, we can see that Jehan Refaa, like I said, has kind of made a slight adjustment to her approach, and I think that now we get to the point where we're able to use a couple of different features here to accomplish this next segment of the design. It's going to be very interesting to see what she ends up using and how it ends up paying off. So very, very interesting. I like the fact that that she's able to kind of make an adjustment as she's going. Good to see Jack Saito here as well, trying to get through this model, trying to make an adjustment on this model and trying to get through it. And we're going to see what ends up happening here. Just checking out some of the the chat that's going on here. Very interesting chat here. Interesting approach here from Jack Saito. Not what I was expecting at all. And Jehan Refaa now looking at a model that has the geometry that, more or less she was hoping to accomplish here from this model. Now it's just a matter of getting these final couple of features in, going back, using the line arc line functionality to get this this little tab here created. I know that at this point, after you slugged through creating all that lofted geometry, it can be very nerve-wracking. I can tell when you try to do that line arc line that it was a little nerve-wracking. Just take a breath, take your time, back to fundamentals. Stick with what you know. You know, it's all good. You made it this far by using your skills, and you're going to be able to keep going here. Just stick with your fundamentals. And Jack Saito really struggling with that transition. We can see here kind of trying to use a feature or use a couple of features here. Interesting approach from both of our runners.
Yeah.
We're going to see what ends up happening here. I know that when I've been in these situations where I've been trying to create these kind of difficult to create parts that have some really tricky, difficult to understand geometry, I know that I have felt, a little frustrated, a little like, oh man, I just can't, I can't get this one done. Big Forms AZ saying, this is a juicy one, Toby. Yeah. We will at some point, maybe we'll give these guys a couple of more minutes. We will end up ultimately putting a clock on both of them. If this is just a model that, that both of our runners are struggling to complete, that's okay. We can just push on to the next match. So I think I'm going to give us a 1 minute warning, and then I'm going to throw a 5 minute clock on for both of our runners.
Timer of doom.
Timer of doom. Yep. A timer of doom, if you will. I do want to give our runners a chance to try to get through this thing, but I know that it can be a little frustrating. And I don't want to, leave our runners feeling like they can't do it. So we'll give them a chance here to create the final features here, to kind of look over the model, make sure that everything looks good. And if everything is looking good, we'll see if we can get an answer from one or both of our runners. And if we can get the correct answer, and then we'll go from there. It's all good. We got plenty of models here at TooTallToby.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm analyzing this correctly, but it looks as though Jehan is trying to come up with the finishing touches.
Yeah, indeed. I'm noticing that as well. I'm looking over her model. I'm looking at the print, and she's definitely looking close. I'm willing to bet that we're going to see a mask come in here at any point. Yeah, I've been there with hitting snags. Yep, sometimes you start with the wrong strategy, miss some details at first glance. Yeah. Yep, it can definitely happen, Ivan says in the chat, and I know that I felt that way too. All right, I think I'm going to throw a 5 minute clock on here. This is going to be for both of our runners. If both of our runners can't get it, that's okay. We will. We have plenty of other models that we can look at here, but I do want to make sure that that they do have a chance. So I'm just going to drop this up here for both of our runners. We're going to do a 5 minute countdown. We're going to see if either of our runners can come up with the correct answer. And
good luck.
Good luck. Yes. Oh, Jehan Refaa doing a section view and noticing a little challenge there in the model. A little bit of maybe unexpected geometry, extra geometry that she wasn't expecting. Good job seeing that before submitting an answer.
Yeah.
Okay, and filling in those gaps nicely. Uh-oh. Ran into an error.
Ooh.
I've been there. Some kind of a zero thickness. This music is calming, says Big B Forms AZ. Form AZ. Yeah. That's good to know. We can't really hear the music that well. We're afraid to feed him back.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I got some exciting music again. Some nerve-wracking music.
Yeah, exactly.
Music to keep these competitors' heart rates up.
Yeah. I'm willing to bet their heart rates are pretty up right now.
Yeah.
This has got to be a a tough spot.
Oh, from Arizona.
Big B from AZ. Okay.
Nice. Big shout out.
Big shout
home
out
state
to
right
AZ.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, you were born in Arizona.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool. Big B from AZ.
Nice. Kahoot background music. I agree. That would go crazy. Too bad copyright, though.
Yeah. From AZ. Big B from AZ.
Big B from AZ.
Okay. It should be easy to say, but I just keep saying Big B, Big Forms AZ. That's how I think I started saying his name. I had coffee before my round of 32, and that was a big mistake. Went into the round of 16 clean and was just as nervous, but much less sweaty. All right, pro moves here from Aaron C., one of our competitors in the Elite 8. Oh, we see Jack Saito on the left. I think he figured something out.
Yeah.
Something changed.
Revelation has occurred.
A revelation has occurred. He's got 2 minutes and 30 seconds to bring it home.
Halfway there on the timer of doom.
Yep. Both of our runners making some kind of final adjustments here, trying to get this thing cleaned up. But something happened there with Jack Saito, where he just all of a sudden was like, I got this. I figured out what I was doing.
Yeah, it's cool in my opinion to see how like they started off the exact same. Midway through, it seems like completely different strategies, and now that we're at this point, it's like we're once again working on the same part of this part.
Yeah, exactly. Both the runners started. It's also the feature they both started out with.
Yeah.
So both of our runners started out creating that feature, and now both of our runners here at the end are struggling with that very same feature.
Yeah.
So Jehan Refaa taking a look at her answer. Her answer is 10 grams or 11 grams. That is not correct. Ooh. So this model has a tolerance of plus or minus 4 grams. That is not correct. So Jehan Refaa can continue looking at her model, trying to figure out which dimensions are incorrect. But nice job coming through with an answer there. Jehan Refaa has answered, and she's just going to need now to kind of try to figure out why that was not correct, what dimensions were missing or what features were missing. And on the left, we've got Jack Saito. Jack Saito coming through here.
I haven't been in this position before, but I gotta reckon that this is like the most nerve-wracking time is for Jehan.
Yeah.
Like that double-checking phase when you don't know which part is wrong.
Yes.
Ooh, 1 minute left from Vicky Chong.
Yep, 1 minute left. Come on, Jehan. Come on, Jack Saito. Let's see if either of our runners can figure this one out. We are going to put the clock on just because we, if neither of our runners can figure this out, that's okay.
30.
Yep. Yeah, this is getting our heart rates up. Yeah. I know that feeling.
20 seconds. It's counting down.
Yep. Counting down here the last 20 seconds. We're going to give our runners here they're both very close, but they're both, both kind of struggling through this one. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ooh.
Okay. So we did run our clock down, guys, and that's okay. I think that we all in the audience get to be winners on that one. We all in the audience, had a chance to kind of see what the thought process is as you go into. Go ahead, if you guys in the chat think you got it, go ahead and enter your mass in the chat. All of our runners at home who are running, they can enter their mass in the chat, and I will tell you guys if it is correct. So please feel free if you got it in the chat. And Aaron C answered 969, but it's 4 places, Aaron, in the answer. In the question, it says, what's the mass of this part in 4 places? And Airwick 1068, JAUSH 1068, X Area 1068, Nico Concarne 1068. And that is correct. It is 1068 plus or minus 4 grams. So nice job to everybody in the chat. Nice job to our runners. I'm sure it was your influence that helped the people in the chat to get that one correct.
Yeah.
So nice job to our runners as well. And GG to both of our runners, really. GG to the winner. Really, GG to both of our runners.
GG.
Let's put a GG in the chat. Let's let Jack Saito and Jehan Refaa know that we know how it is. We know how it feels. We have been there. Nico Concarne is saying loft, shell, then the flanges. Yep, that's pretty much how I would have done it too. Extrude, loft, extrude, revolve, extrude, shell, flanges, finish.
Yeah. Big shout out to both runners, GG. I'm going to go to 1 minute break, bathroom real quick.
Bio break real quick for our co-host. We're running into OT today.
TooTallToby.com.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So nice job. Let's take a look at the wheel here. This is a good opportunity for us to look at the wheel and see what the wheel has in store for our next match between these two epic runners. Struggled a bit getting the revolve for that top shape. Yep, it is a little bit tricky to get that revolve. You have to convert that face. What I did was I lofted up into that top face. So, you know, lofted up into that top face, and then after I lofted up into that top face, I did a revolve right from that top face. So begin a new sketch, convert that top face, and then you can throw a center line, and then you can revolve right off of that. Excuse me. These kids can't hold it. Nice big forms, AZ. And it's just gonna be locked into my brain now, so I'm sorry. I'll try to say it the right way. All right, sweep would have been better. A sweep would have worked there too. They both would have worked. Let's see here. All right, guys, let's take a look at the wheel. We're gonna bring up the wheel here and see what the wheel has in store for our runners next. You guys have a chance now to guess once again, to guess the answer correctly. What is the answer that the wheel will give us? That's the question. I'll model that part also, guys, on Monday. Model Monday Live, 1 p.m. on Monday. I'm going to model some of these parts in Onshape. If you guys want to join me on Monday at 1 p.m., I'll model that part. I'll model the DUCT in Onshape live. If you guys want to see kind of what the solution is, tune in on Monday. Nice, can't wait. Thank you. Thank you, Big B from AZ.
Oh, yeah.
I can say it. I can learn how to say it.
Big B from AZ.
Big B from AZ. Looks like we got 88 people watching right now. We got 56 likes. There's a good chance for you to hit that like button. Really appreciate everybody tuning in here today.
Yeah.
Wonderful matchups. And let's take a look and see what the wheel has in store for us.
Oh, yeah. 63.
63.
This is the one.
Let's see. I don't know if it is 63. I'm just gonna be. Oh, it made it to 41. All right.
Very nice.
Yeah, very nice. We get to go back to 41.
Mantaz and Makina, both of them got 41.
Yeah, we were thinking that 41 was going to hold out for a long time, but it just got right in there. So nice job. Nice job to our chat. Let's see who got it. It was Ex Machina Engineering and Mantis, like you said. Sorry, Connor, you had it.
Ah, it's all good.
Yep, so 41. So congratulations for everybody getting 41. And good luck to our runners with this one. I think this is going to be a good model. Let's just learn a little bit more about our runners. So we got Jack Saito from the United States. We got Jehan Refaa from Egypt. And something else to know about Jack Saito. I don't know if you knew this before, but he used to have a green one.
Oh, that is very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his toothbrush is actually pink, and he used to have a green one. Very, very interesting facts here about our runners. He can play the bassoon.
That's very interesting.
Yep. And he wants to travel around the world and wants to travel into the future.
Ooh, I can agree with that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I guess in a way, we're all traveling into the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jehan Refaa on the Flight X team, which they participate in UAV competitions. That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Okay. So let's get everything ready here for this next match. I got a feeling this next match is going to be a good one. We're going all the way back to 41. 41 was really holding out there for a while. I will say it is less crazy than that last drawing, if you guys can believe it. Less crazy than the last drawing. That's the only hint that I'm going to give.
Very excited to see this part.
Yeah, I think that as always, you know, the advice that we always give, I think, is going to hold true for this one. Take your time, plan it out, come up with a good plan, and you're going to be able to rock and roll right through this thing. So let's flip over to full screen, because this CAD battle between Onshape and SolidWorks begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this part in 0.xxx pounds?
Ooh, Imperial.
Oh yeah, we got an IPS part again. 2 IPS parts today. Good luck to both the runners. This is going to be a pretty darn good matchup. I'm going to flip over to our CAD versus CAD battle so we can see our runners in action. Tom Schnars in the chat says, go! Yes, indeed. All right, so now we see our runners are jumping in a little bit quicker than last time, looking at this model saying, what's going to be my starting plane? What's going to be my starting profile? I think the starting plane, starting profile solution for this one is the footprint of the model. Both of our runners using 2 different CAD systems, starting with the almost exact same profile. Interesting that we are also kind of seeing a deviation, though. We see that Jehan Refaa is immediately getting in there and putting in some fillets, and we see that Jack Saito is getting in there and immediately sketching the geometry for the counter bore.
Yeah.
Now, as we've seen in previous models, the counter bore features an Ivan exploit thwart, anti-Ivan exploit, if you will. The bottom of this model has a little step in it that runs right through that counter bore through hole. So you really need to locate that counter bore through hole in the correct spot.
Yeah.
Take a look at Jehan Refaa on the right, just blasting through that angled tombstone shape. Great skill to learn the line arc line skill, whether you're using SolidWorks or Onshape. The ability to use line arc line to quickly navigate through this type of geometry is a huge time saver.
Yeah.
We see Jack Saito on the left using Onshape, which you're very familiar with. Kind of doing a lot of layout work, and we're going to see if that pays off as opposed to doing feature by feature by feature.
Yeah.
Let's see how well Onshape can just take these sketches and use and reuse these sketches over and over and over again.
Yeah. I think it's interesting how with the Onshape creator, it's we're always taught in our class to try to use as many or as little sketches and features as possible as a form of effective like part making. So I think it's going to be interesting to see Jack's strategy with this.
Yeah, there's an interesting balance between those two, because sometimes it's good to kind of cram as much as you can into one feature, but sometimes it can actually make the feature or the sketch overly complicated, and that makes it more difficult to troubleshoot for you later on, but also for your coworkers later on. So there's a really interesting balance. You definitely want to model efficiently, but it's not always the less features the better. Sometimes it's actually better to have more features if it means that someone can look at the feature tree and just see like, oh, okay, I can tell exactly what he was thinking here.
I see.
You know, that's especially true with things like fillet. Like with the fillet command, you can add one fillet and then change the radius of each individual fillet. So you could do every fillet on the model in one command, but would you really want to do that? Or is that going to make it more difficult for you and your coworkers to decipher the part later on?
Yeah.
So yeah, really, there's a really interesting balance you learn as you get deeper and deeper into the world of 3D CAD between those two techniques. Yep.
I like Big B from AZ's comment, the purposeful features.
Purposeful features. Yeah, I like that. I don't see Big B from AZ. I see Big Forms AZ. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, I thought they were possibly the same.
Oh, okay. Say more sketches with as few dimensions as possible. All right, so Jehan Refaa on the right. Look at this thing already almost all the way through this model, kind of going through, creating that step on the bottom there, that Ivan exploit thwart. That's a very important feature that we included here in some of these models to make sure that nobody ends up, creating the incorrect geometry or utilizing the Ivan exploit, I should say. And we also see here that we've got Jack Saito on the left, kind of going through, modeling up a similar set of geometry. Jehan Refaa was able to get that angled tombstone shape in there so quickly. And so I think because of that, she's really got kind of a leg up in this match. But we're going to see if how quickly Jack Saito is able to create that same shape. And him having all that layout geometry in the beginning, I think really paid off and helped him quickly create the main shape of this model.
Yeah.
So Jehan Refaa looking like she may be ready to do that final spin, kind of look over this model and see how everything looks. Looks like she's making sure she's not missing any features. Looks like there's a fillet and a hole back there on that rear feature. So she's just trying to make sure that she's got that in place. But wow, this is really coming down to the wire here.
Oh, yeah.
Love seeing the chat here talking about this idea of, whether it's better to make make the features more complicated, less complicated, whatever it is they're trying to do. All right, and we're looking for this answer in I think we're looking for this answer in 3-place precision, Jehan Refaa. So what is the mass of this part in XXX pounds? So Jehan Refaa answering essentially 0.550 pounds. That is not correct within tolerance. that is not correct within tolerance. And so now we see that she has edited her options, and looks like we're going to have a neck and neck answer here coming in. Jehan Refaa answering 0.546 pounds. That is also not correct. Jack Saito entering 0.910 pounds. That is not correct.
Wow.
So we, unfortunately, Jehan, we have to take your first answer as an answer. And so this actually came up earlier this week during the rematch. So we can't take any more answers from Jehan. She has answered twice. So that means that we are going to put the clock on Jack Saito. I'm sorry, Jehan, but that's a tough call. We're just taking whatever comes into the YouTube chat as an answer, and that means if you make a mistake in the answer, I'm sorry, but we have to accept that. So the clock is going to come up now for Jack Saito. This is going to give Jack 5 minutes remaining in this matchup. So we're going to put the clock over here for Jack, and we're going to all keep an eye on Jack and see if he can get the answer in the next 5 minutes. But unfortunately, that is going to be another heartbreak of answering incorrectly in the chat. We are looking for the answer in 3-place precision. Jack Saito has answered incorrectly 1 time, and Jehan Refaa answered incorrectly 2 times. And so now it is up to Jack Saito to try to figure out where he made a mistake and try to revise his answer. You can see here how Jehan answered. And so this is going to give Jack Saito, you can see Jack Saito is running the feature script in Onshape that allows him to kind of real-time update the masses. I always think that's so cool to see. I don't know, Airwick, if that was you that programmed that feature script, but if it was, huge shout out to Airwick. And Mr. Alex in the chat here letting us know he was in there going up against Jehan the first match.
It's always cool to see past competitors continue to watch the tournament and still comment on it. I think that's a really interesting part of your tournament that isn't very prevalent in many others.
Yeah, thanks. We really do have some outstanding competitors, some great sportsmanship going on throughout the entire tournament, and just some really close matches here from everyone. And it is kind of sudden death here for Jack Saito. Jack needs to answer in the next 3 minutes, but he also has already answered incorrectly once. So this is going to be interesting. If Jack answers incorrectly again, we'll just do another push.
Yeah.
Or if Jack doesn't answer within the next 3 minutes, we'll do another push.
Yeah.
But so I think that what he's doing now probably is he's really trying to look over his model, really trying to figure out if there was anything that was not correct in his model, and that way he can try to figure out what went wrong. And we see Jehan Refaa on the right also looking through her model and trying to figure out, if she got it incorrect or correct. Jack Saito answering in the chat, 0.55 pounds. And that is correct.
Congratulations.
And so that is going to give Jack Saito 1 point on the board here, 0.555. Jehan Refaa, I'm sorry. I was really hoping when you answered 0.55 that maybe it was 0.5546 or something like that. Like you were really right there. But unfortunately, the correct answer is 0.555. Just want to go back and look and just make sure I didn't misread or anything. 0.546. Yep. Okay. Really trying to make sure that I'm answering everything correctly this time. I gave a bad point out last weekend, and so it's got me a little on edge. So great job to both of our runners. Congratulations to Jack Saito earning the first point. This match is not over. We saw Jehan Refaa was actually there. And Eric in the chat saying Jehan Refaa, it's on the boss in the bottom left. There was something extra, some kind of a problem with the dimension. So appreciate that feedback from Airwick. Thank you. And let's go. We are going to continue with this battle. Great job to both of our runners. That was definitely epic. Well earned. Jehan Refaa really got the model done first, but just had missed a feature somewhere along the way. And I think that she's down by 1 point, but she could easily win this point and then win the next point and win the whole thing and move on to the Elite Eight. So this could really go either way. And I think that a big thing that's going to determine which direction it goes is the Wheel of Fate. The Wheel of Fate. So let us know in the chat what you think. We still haven't seen the sheet metal model.
True.
So who knows if our runners know how to do sheet metal or are going to be comfortable, or if they're just going to model it using thin features, or if the wheel will even bring it up. We don't know. We don't know. Tom Schnarr says 63, 63,
Yeah,
63. Likes it. Likes the 63. Jehan is so fast, though. Could absolutely take the win. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. This could easily go either way. Nico Concarne coming in with 58. I'm going to back up Nico Concarne on this one. I think it's going to be 58 as well. Here we go. Let's see what the Wheel of Fate has in store for our runners today.
Oh,
yeah.
That is rough.
That's what's up, baby. We knew. We knew. We knew what it was going to be. I dropped my pen.
I put it.
Uh-oh, we can't advance without the pen. Oh, we got a pencil. Backup pencil. Okay. So, let's see here. This one is 58, right? Okay. Wow. Very nice. Nice job. Nico Concarne, 58. Congratulations. Well done. And we had one other one. X Machine Engineering comes in 58. All right. 58 plus 2. Yeah, very nice. All right, Connor, this could be it.
Very excited. This
Jack Saito could lock it down with this match. What advice do you have for our runners?
I would say, again, I've said the same advice every single time, but it's just like, I don't know. I have faith in both of these runners. They both seem to be very meticulous with their designs and double checking a lot of their stuff. And again, just make sure that you really are making sure that you're making all the dimensions correct. And it's always important to focus on the precision and then the speed. It's nice to have both, but
yes,
no.
Good advice. Very good advice. All righty, here we go. Here we go. JAUSH says, yeah, don't do a JAUSH.
Not trying to yell at you, you know.
Hey-ho. All right, guys, let's take a look here. Shake it off, everybody. Here we go. We're gonna flip over to our full screen, and this CAD battle between Egypt and the United States.
Oh yeah.
This CAD battle between Onshape and SolidWorks begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in 0.xxx pounds? We're doing another pounds document here, another inch and pounds document here. This is the Wheel of Fate, guys. There's a serious overbalance of millimeter parts in this catalog, but the Wheel of Fate is giving out all pounds models today, inch models today. Not sure why. Pretty tricky model here. Definitely one that takes a little bit of planning, kind of looking over the model, trying to figure out what's going on with this model exactly. You need to really look at this model from all angles to really understand what to look out for. So make sure you grab a screen capture of this. Both of our runners are starting out here. I can see what they're doing on the other screens. We're going to flip over there in just a moment, but grab a screen capture. You can follow along with from home, and don't forget to hit that like button. Here we go.
Even more Toby features from Rich Penn.
Yeah, this is another one. These drawings today have quite a few Toby annotations in them. It's just the way the wheel is divvying things out today. It's also the models need to get a little bit more complicated. This model here, you know, this is something that I think a lot of us have seen before in training classes, this type of geometry in training classes in different types of models. But, you know, this model here is one that it definitely has one feature that I think our runners are going to struggle with a little bit. You know, not just the dimensionings, but I think that there's going to be one feature that you guys are going to run into here where you're going to be like, wait a second, what's going on? Now, I like the way Jack Saito is coming in here. A lot of you might look at this and say to yourselves, like, why is he creating all that extra geometry for the fillets? And I think that what you're going to see here is that Onshape is going to do a really nice job of just incorporating that right into that first extrusion. There it is. So you can see that Jack Saito opted to include the fillets in that first sketch. Jehan Refaa creating that sketch a little more the way I think I would probably create it, making it a little bit more of a sharp corners and planning to add those fillets after the fact. So we're going to see which technique pays off. We also see here that once again, our two experts have started out with the same sketch profile, the same sketch plane. Always interesting to see how our runners decide on that decision. That's really where you always have to begin when you're creating sketch geometry or model geometry. You make your first sketch, that makes your first feature, that kind of sets the foundation for the whole rest of the model. Yeah. So very important to decide on a good starting plane, starting profile. Nico Concarne says, finally, a fun one. This is a fun one. Yeah, I agree.
A lot of circle geometry.
A lot of circle geometry. Big Forms AZ says, don't struggle. That's pretty good advice for the runners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the old get better advice.
Yeah, just be faster.
Yeah. It's that simple.
Yeah. Don't JAUSH it up.
Wow. You are a cruel man. You know that?
Just giving some advice here to the runners.
I apologize, JAUSH.
Oh, man. All right. Alrighty. So we see here that we've got Jack Saito on the left, trying to decide what he's going to do with this model, looking down on it from the top, trying to create almost like a layout of the perimeter of the entire model. We're going to see what he ends up doing with that. We've got Jehan Refaa on the right, has already created the initial shape, now getting ready to go through and create this shape that is sticking out when you're looking down from the top. And this is where I think we really are going to see some interesting geometric creation choices. And I think you guys will see what I mean in just a moment on this model. But definitely a tricky part, not just in terms of the geometry, but also kind of in the way it's dimensioned. Not that it's tricky the way it's dimensioned, but it's one of these things where you could maybe decide on your starting plane, starting profile, origin, location. Yeah. And that decision would make things much easier or much more difficult later on in the model. Yeah. These are my favorite kinds of models to see in the tournament where and as an engineer, you look at it, or as a student, you look at it and you think, okay, I'm going to start here. This is the obvious place to start. But as an experienced CAD user, you might look at it and think, oh, maybe I actually should start on this feature instead. Maybe I should get this feature centered up, and then I can use this feature to help locate the rest of the model a little more easily. And these are things that you absolutely do look at when you're creating geometry from a print. If you've got like I used to work at a company and there were a bunch of old prints in an actual filing system that we would take out, and we would use those to create 3D models from the old prints. And this is something we would always look at. We'd see like, what are the key dimensions that are being called out on the drawing, and kind of use those key dimensions to decide on the origin location. Yeah. So now we see Jack Saito creating that geometry, looking down from the top. We see Jehan Refaa, once again, both of our runners in almost the exact same feature at the same point in time. I think that's always so cool when that happens. Binocular vibes, says Design Pool. Yes, indeed. If you have 3 eyes. Ex Machina Engineering, giving a little hint there. Niho Concarne reminding him to let's let the runners figure it out. Although they're pretty deep into this already, but I'm still going to remove it just to try to be consistent. Yeah.
Again, just going back to the point of like the audience engagement, I just think it's so cool how this is like one of those just very rare, I guess, competitive subjects that you can actually have the audience lively competing with you, like, and with the competitors, and then they can compare themselves, possibly for future tournaments or just past competitors. And I find that part to be like incredibly unique and just good quality of this tournament.
Yeah, that's a great point. I wonder if we could maybe set up a Discord where, I guess that would be tough. Thinking like it'd be kind of cool if we had a different venue where the chat could compete. Yeah. But it would have to be some kind of like a gated thing. Maybe we could use tokens, like a crypto token, to prevent only allow certain people in there to make sure that the runners don't get in there. You know, and then the chat would be able to actually compete against one another while the runners are running, but without actually giving away the answer to the runners.
Yeah. Maybe you could have like a like all the competitors have their own custom like channel, and then that way like they know if the guy who's running is in that Discord chat and they're like, get out.
Oh yeah, that would be pretty cool. Or maybe like a whitelist or a blacklist feature or something like that. Yeah. Or maybe we could do it. There's probably other ways we could do it with like a form submission. So yeah, we'll have to talk about this offline. But this is a great idea.
Thank you.
And a great point you make too. I mean, it does really make the environment unique here. Because like if this was a Call of Duty esport tournament or Smash Bros esports tournament, the audience wouldn't really be able to play along with.
Yeah.
But in this case, the audience really, truly could play along with, sharpen their own skills, learn along the way. And that's kind of the cool thing about like educational esports. It really changes the game up. Jehan Refaa having no problem with creating that geometry. I thought that geometry was going to be so tricky. I thought our runners were going to both really struggle with that geometry, but Jehan Refaa having no problems creating that geometry, getting that geometry in place. You can see that, you know, what I thought was going to be so tricky about it was having that kind of upper section being one shape and that lower section being a different shape. She just blasted through that, no problem. Like it was nobody's business. Very nicely done. Excited to see if she's able to come up with the final answer.
DB, we don't talk about CAD Club.
Oh, nice. Yeah, DB making a great point there. Underground CAD battling betting. Yes, let's go. Let's go. And Garamiro is here. Giramiro. Miro. I'm just going to say Miro. Miro is here. Welcome. Hi, guys. I missed almost the entire stream. You're here at just the best part.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to see here our epic runners. Now, we did have a really good battle between PRANAV and JAUSH. Very, very close battle. And now we're into our second battle here between Saito and Jehan Refaa. There were some pretty crazy drawings you missed. That drawing of the duct. That one, I might have been flying a little too close to the sun, as they say.
Yeah.
So you know, we'll have to take a look at that one on Monday and see if I can remember how to do it.
Yeah.
But oh man, I was typing that. Nice. Yeah.
Machina.
And Aaron C saying would love to have a Discord we could play along. Yeah, the Discord's up and running right now. It's not public yet. So I guess it's really not up and running until it goes public. But we're gonna have the Discord up and running this week, I think. So just be on the lookout for that. If you guys don't have Discord, I'll make I know a lot of the people in the TooTallToby audience are not Discord users, so I'll make like a how-to Discord just to help you get started. And then, you know, even if my server is the only one you use, it's still going to bring a lot of value and kind of open up this thing.
Yeah.
Curious what Toby thinks the trick feature is. I'll tell you at the end, Aaron C. I will tell you at the end. Very nice use of the order of feature creation here from Jehan Refaa. I realize that she's got that geometry that's inside of that hole that's running through the model, and so she's going to have to clean that up soon. But the rest of the geometry here, I think she's doing a really nice job of, an unexpected black sketch there. Black sketch entity, inadvertent midpoint or something maybe there. I see her selecting that. Yep, I know we've all done that before too. You're like, no, I didn't want that to be there. So Jehan Refaa seems to have a very an excellent grip on examining and troubleshooting sketches. But while she's doing this, it's really giving Saito the opportunity to catch up. Saito using a transform here in Onshape to move this feature into place. Very interesting use of transform with mate connectors. Wow. Yes, a really, really clever way to address that feature. It's that very feature, actually, Aaron, that I was talking about. That was a feature that I thought was going to be very tricky, was having kind of the one shape up top and a different shape down below. Saito looking at these little extra, I forget what Tom Smith called them when he was here, but he's got this extra kind of abnormal geometry on the inside of the model that he now has to clean up. Yeah. Tom Smith had a really good name for it, and now I can't even remember what it. Dingus? think it was. This little dingus that's hanging out here inside of that geometry. Yep, Dingus Jordan in Industrial Compaction Services. Okay, the first thing he said in the entire chat, Jordan coming in here and letting us know, Dingus. Yep, okay, thank you for that. Yep, okay. And that's awesome. Thanks for confirming. These two are neck and neck. Yeah, this is a really great matchup here between Jack Saito and Jehan Refaa. So cool here to see what they need to do to clean this up, to figure out what's going on with that interior geometry and get that interior geometry cleaned up. Jehan Refaa now going back and adding in these fillets.
So we're getting to our final leg here.
Yeah, both of our runners are just kind of going through and trying to figure out what they need to do to clean up that geometry. Jack Saito kind of looking it over. Jehan Refaa doing the what we call the final spin, looking at the whole model, trying to make sure that there's nothing extra in the model that she doesn't need, trying to make sure that there's, you know, that everything that she everything that she had planned out is coming through here. It's very close. There's this extra feature over on the side here, kind of another lubrication port, as was pointed out earlier when we were looking at the what was that part called? Countershaft. When we were looking at the countershaft, there's a lubrication port. This model also has this lubrication port that our runners are now, you know, once again, neck and neck. They're both getting to that same feature.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Big B form AZ nail biter.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's actually pronounced Big Forms AZ.
Oh, it looks like it's spelled Big B from AZ though.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at reading.
Yeah.
You know, as engineers, yeah.
How do you spell engineer? I'm just a guy that does math.
Yeah, I think one of the things we're gonna do at the I'll tell you about it off stream.
All right.
I have an idea for something fun that we're gonna do, but yeah, we're just good. We're good, really good at spelling.
Yeah.
That's the point.
I think a thing that Jehan does a lot, which I just picked up on, is that she seems really good at picking up when she's made like accidental errors. I've noticed her several times throughout this part, like just make a feature that might not have been correct and then immediately gone over it again.
Yeah, yeah, she seems to be really in tune with that. Let's see here. We are on, what's this model again?
59, I think.
Or 58?
Yeah.
Okay. So Jehan Refaa coming in with an answer here, 0.3134. Hold on 1 second here. That is not correct.
Ooh.
That is not correct. So, so you can see here, coming in with the answer, 0.3134 or 0.313. This model, the drawing has a tolerance on it. Hold on, let me just double check the tolerance. The tolerance is correct. So the tolerance on this drawing is plus or minus 0.004. So that is not correct. So Jehan Refaa needs to look over her model, see if there is any kind of, okay, Jehan Refaa refining her answer, 0.3195, and that is correct. So nice job to Jehan Refaa. Wow, wow, wow.
GG.
GG indeed. Both of our runners, man, neck and neck throughout this entire matchup, from the very first model, the DUCT, into that second model, and now here on this third model, it's going to be Jehan Refaa who gets the point for that one, ties it up. You can see here that Jack was right behind her. Wow, 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 wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is epic.
Yeah, we're going to have one of those rare 4-round matches.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, when's the last time we had a 4-round matchup? Wow, wow, wow. X Machine Engineering, this has got to be one of the best matches of the year. Yes, indeed. Yeah. John TL is in the chat, says GG. Very nicely done. Very, very nicely done to both of our runners. But that means that we are going on to a final matchup between these two runners. Jack's toothbrush used to have a green one, but now it's pink. Can play the bassoon, wants to travel the world and travel into the future. And Jehan Refaa is on a Flight X team, participates in UAV competitions.
That's very cool.
This is pretty epic, huh?
Yeah, this is like match of the Titans right here.
Yeah, this is a match of the Titans. Very well paired runners. Yes, indeed. Ricardo Jean in the chat. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. All right. Good strategy discussion here in the chat. The question that came in from Aaron C, it was if you look at this view here and you look at the basically where I call out that detail view. So over on the right in the shaded isometric views, it was that shape there that when I was auditing this part, I was really struggling with that shape. There's so many different ways you could do that. You could do it with a delete face.
Yeah. Probably.
If you split it, maybe. Always look for places you can use delete face. I really like Jehan's approach on that one, but I also really like Jack Sato's approach. Jack Saito modeled that lower section as its own body and then just moved it into place. That was pretty clutch. Was not expecting that.
Very curious about this next round. I think that we're going to see whether or not they are going to be fatigued from all the rounds, or if they're really going to, like, this is their warm-up. If this is like the lube and now the machine is going to run even faster now.
That's a great point. A great point. What's it going to be? Are they going to be tired and fatigued, or they feel like now they're finally getting into their groove? Like, it's like, okay, this is a fourth battle we're doing.
Yeah.
This is like, we know what we're doing now.
63 in the chat.
So already answering 63 in the chat. Okay, I like it. I like it. Still haven't seen that sheet metal model, huh?
Yeah.
Down to a 25% chance of getting that sheet metal model. 63, 63, 63 in the chat. 60 in the chat. 61, 61, 62 in the chat. Okay, 60. So a lot of excellent guesses here, I gotta say.
I think that one of those is going to be correct.
Yeah, the chat really knows what they're doing. I think somebody's going to get it correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? Oh, yeah. Here we go. It's looking like it's going to be
61.
61. Okay. Wow. So 61. So Rich Penn got it. Tracy Chadwick got it. Mr. Alex was the first person to get it, 61. Congratulations to Mr. Alex. Congratulations to Chadwick, to Rich Penn, to Atif Khan. Nice, Atif, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. And congratulations on getting the answer correct. Nicely done. Nicely done. All right, let's remove this. Let's hide this. And I think, Connor, you made the observation of the day saying, like, what is going to happen here? What is going to happen? Are they going to be fatigued and struggle through this one? I wonder if they're experiencing any kind of wrist pain, or muscle fatigue.
Yeah, maybe they should, wipe their hands off, get a little drink of water beforehand.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Don't go too far though.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good idea. Our runners have really been putting in overtime here today. You guys have all been putting in overtime. If you guys are watching and you like this, you like that our runners are putting in overtime, that you're putting in overtime, be sure to hit that like button. We got 82 people watching still. Wow. Thank you all so much for sticking around for this. This is really, really cool to have this kind of extra long matchup today.
Yeah.
So let's get into it here. I think we're ready. I'm ready. You're ready. I hope that our runners are ready because I think that this is going to be one for the ages, for sure. So here we go. This CAD battle between Onshape and SolidWorks to see who moves on to the Elite 8.
Oh, yeah.
Begins in
3, 2, 1, go!
What is the mass of this part in XXX grams? This looks like a sheet metal part, guys.
Sheet metal.
We got the sheet metal part. The default wall thickness is 5 millimeters. The default bend radius is 5 millimeters. The flanges are the same. All three flanges are the same, spaced at 120 degrees. So same flange for all three, spaced at 120 degrees. I love these kind of triple pattern type of parts.
Yeah.
Let's flip over and see how our runners approach this one. We got Jehan Refaa on the right using SolidWorks, deciding to approach this one by starting out as a triangle. Now, I just want to say that even though this model is designed as sheet metal, you don't have to make it as sheet metal.
Yeah.
You could just do it as solid features. If you're not familiar with all the ins and outs of how sheet metal works, you could just model it as a solid feature. You could just, kind of go through and just model it using your regular features, and that's totally legit. You're still going to get the correct mesh because we're not looking for a flat pattern. So if you don't know sheet metal, if you feel more comfortable doing things using solid geometry, then you go for it, and you can model this thing however you like. But it does look like Jehan Refaa is modeling this thing using the sheet metal tools in SolidWorks. I'm very familiar with the sheet metal tools in SolidWorks. I don't know how familiar you are.
Not too familiar, but they look very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, sheet metal is its own manufacturing discipline and often its own CAD discipline. But I try to make the parts in a way that they, you don't need to be a sheet metal expert. This isn't a sheet metal tournament. But I do think everybody should at least have a little bit of sheet metal skill because it just comes up that frequently in the world of manufacturing. So
responding to Gary, the CAD gods give their most difficult models to their strongest speed modelers.
Oh, oh, I like that. Yeah, indeed. Indeed. Okay, so we see Jack Saito already got his first feature created and immediately jumped into a second sketch here. It looks like that first feature is being created as a solid, so we're going to see if Jack Saito tries to approach this thing using solid geometry rather than doing it using sheet metal. We see that Jehan Refaa appears to feel pretty comfortable with sheet metal, so she's doing her design using sheet metal the whole way. So very, very interesting. Nico Concarne says, I just got my sheet metal CSWP cert last summer. Excellent, Nico Concarne.
Congratulations.
Yep, congratulations, and these should be some fun models to practice with. We are all more familiar with sheet metal than we'd want to be. Just joking, it's okay. Yeah. What about surface and weldment model? So no surfacing challenges this season. We could have a surfacing, either a surfacing tournament or we could have some surfacing challenges maybe in the next season. Surfacing is another one of those tools that I think everybody should know at least a little bit about. But the nice thing about sheet metal is that even if you don't know sheet metal, a lot of times you can still create the models just using thin features. And we've seen people do that before. I think we saw Chadwick do that earlier in the tournament. We have seen people do that, and it's totally legit. But if you know sheet metal, a lot of times you can work through these models a little quicker. We see Jehan Refaa examining what's called the flange position on the sheet metal part. A lot of times you have to look at the print and look at the model and try to figure out what the best flange position is, and that'll certainly make a difference in the overall mass of the model. So that's great that she's down there looking at that, trying to figure that out. And we see that Jack Saito on the left, again, trying to do this thing as all solids, which, can take a little bit longer. You don't have those nice automatic built-in fillet features, but if you can get those features down, it might actually end up being an advantage. It might allow you to complete the model a little faster. So really, really interesting here, seeing the two runners creating this geometry in such a similar fashion as usual, like right at the same spot on their features.
I think it's going to be interesting. I can't tell 100%, but it looks like Jack is not using any sheet metal features. I think it'll be interesting watching like how both speed modelers try to approach this part while using different fundamental features inside of their programs. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, Onshape has an impressive array of sheet metal features. In fact, I'll create this model in sheet metal as well. I also have a sheet metal tutorial coming out early next week on one of the models that we saw during the rematch between Victor K and Will from Brazil. So I'm going to be doing a tutorial on that sheet metal. So Onshape has a lot of good sheet metal tools built right in, very capable in the world of sheet metal. So excited to show off some of that too. But again, if you never practiced with it, if you never had to learn it for a job or anything like that, you might just be more familiar with the solid features. Aaron Christensen says, I'll have to try this one both ways and see which one is faster. The flanges are simple enough here that it might be a wash. And JAUSH in the chat says, got it.
Nice.
Got it. Very nice. Very nice. So we see Jehan Refaa getting that kind of centered shape in place, jumping into a circular pattern here, and choosing to circular pattern using, boom, look at that. That looks beautiful.
Wow.
Wow. So very nice. Very nice. Oh, a little bit weird. Some dingus.
A little bit of dingus.
A little bit of dingus. I'm sure she'll figure it out, though. She's very good. John Degestein is here, joining late. Hi, all. Hello, Jern. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
This is a pretty lengthy tournament. I do agree. Sahil.
Yep, Sahil noticing we're running into a little bit of overtime today, but that's okay. We have the room booked until 2:30.
Yeah.
So we are okay if we need it. But we are at the 4th match of these two epic runners.
Yeah.
They've been neck and neck the whole time. They are, they're really trying to figure it out. Airwick saying, got it. Tricky little detail. Yep, there's definitely some trickiness in this model. Looks like Jack Saito creating that pattern of the
walls.
The walls that he created. Yep. And let's see what he's doing here. He's going to make sure that he's trying to figure something out. He doesn't like the way something looks on there. Yeah. And Jehan Refaa also seeing maybe something that she's not liking on this model, trying to go through and figure out what it could be. So it's always good. Chadwick is here, says, I think I have it. Used all solid features again. Okay, fair enough. Yep, fair enough. And Jack Saito here, kind of trying to come through with that feature.
So we're reaching the last leg.
Yeah, I see both runners are trying to make sure that they've got all the geometry kind of doing the final spin. Jack Saito coming in with an answer in the chat, 915 grams. That is not correct.
Ooh.
That is not correct. So Jack Saito is going to need to look over his model, possibly opening the door here for Jehan Refaa to come through to finish up these models, to come up with the correct answer in these models. But Jack Saito, that is not correct. And so he is going to now need to go through and try to figure out what, if anything, he missed. Kind of look over the model, do what we call the final spin on the model. Look at everything, look at all the features, look at it all from different angles and say, did I miss something here? Is there something that's off? What's going on with this model? And he's going to try to figure it out while Jehan Refaa does the same thing. She's got some real anomalies going on with the corners, and she's really struggling to figure out what's going on with those corners. And this is where you got to really look at the drawing, like take a minute, kind of almost like, I don't want to say step back, but take a minute, look at the drawing, try to figure out what the drawing is showing. Look at your model from the different views. Try to see if your model is matching up with everything that's on that drawing, because if it's not, you're probably not going to be within the specified tolerance of plus or minus 2 grams.
Yeah.
Jack Saito says, risk it for the biscuit, 911 grams. That is not correct.
Ooh, that is rough.
Is not correct. So, will Jehan Refaa be able to answer this challenge within the 5-minute clock that we're putting on now? Or will we see, for the first time ever, a match go to five
rounds?
I don't know what's going to happen here, guys.
Yeah.
This is, we're seeing a lot of, it's a good thing we stacked the models for this wheel today. We might run out of wheel models.
Yeah.
But both of our runners, so many plot twists. Jack Saito trying, for what it's worth, Jack, I did see what is wrong with your model. So it's something that I can visibly see as you're trying to go through. I know that probably doesn't really help too much, but it's something that I can see on your model.
Yeah.
And we got Jehan Refaa kind of looking over this thing, trying to figure out what's going on with her model, trying to make sure that all the measurements are correct in her model as well. She's got 4 minutes left. 4 minutes left to figure this out.
Yeah. I also just going to comment real quick. I think might be a little bit confusing for Jehan as well with the strange lighting that's going on with the metal. Like I noticed with Jack, it's very consistent lighting. It's the Onshape solid feature lighting. But with the sheet metal, like you get weird reflections, and the surfaces are super dark, and then like as light as the sun, like back and forth.
Yes. Yeah, that's a function in SolidWorks called Real View Graphics, and it allows you to apply materials and have the materials actually take on some kind of advanced graphical elements to them. But as you said, when it's basically the shading is changing from white to black to gray to dark gray, it can make it kind of difficult to figure out what exactly is going on with the features themselves, with the sketches themselves, and things like that. So, Real View is something that I personally only really use when I'm presenting. Like if I'm presenting something, especially to a customer, it's great. They're like, "Wow, that looks just like my parts." But when I'm really working, through the world of CAD, I try to really dial down my graphics. In the world of SolidWorks, where you're doing a lot of the processing locally, every little bit of additional resource you can use to help out your machine is going to help the process go faster. In Onshape, a lot of that processing takes place online. Something to come in?
Yeah, just looking at Aaron's. I don't know if that's like stepping over a line.
Let's see here.
Very top. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I see it too. Yeah, I think it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, flat shading is good for detailed design work. My boy says Egypt's got this pyramid shape. Very nice.
Very nice.
Very, very nice.
Big shout out to Ivan's son.
Yeah. That's awesome. Very nice. Alrighty, so we got 1 minute 45 seconds left for Jehan to try to calculate this correctly.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see what ends up happening.
Yeah.
I would say, Jack Saito, maybe you want to close that tab. Just a little. There you go.
Down to the wire.
Here we go. Jehan Refaa trying to figure out what's going to be the best way to add in these fillets. Is she going to be able just to tear around this whole model? Because it looks like that might be the final feature. We got 60 seconds left, so we really want to get this done quickly. But what's it going to take to get this done? And is she going to be able to do this all in one shot here? Is she gonna? Looks like she's opting to create that fillet and then pattern it to the other edges. And I know that's definitely been something that I've been challenged with in the past, where it doesn't SolidWorks doesn't want to recognize the updated edge IDs there.
Yeah,
looks like we got 30 seconds here. High pressure situation, going around adding these final fillets. 20 seconds. She's being, like you said, being meticulous, making sure she gets all the edges, getting that feature. This is going to be it. I think this is going to be her chance to enter the mass properties. And
6,
5. Jehan Refaa coming in with an answer, 874 grams. And that is correct. And what an ending.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness, what an ending. Jack got it as well. Jack, excellent match. Jehan, excellent match. That gives Jehan the unstoppable cat. That gives Jehan the victory cat. Wow, wow, wow. Completely down to the wire.
Yeah.
Just gritted through and got that model completed. Awesome job to Jehan Refaa. Wow, wow, wow. Awesome job to Jack Saito.
Oh, yeah.
Great use of sheet metal. Great, awesome job to the Wheel of Fate today.
Yeah.
Really, really good showdown from all of our runners today. What an amazing set of matchups. Wasn't expecting that. Whoa, GG, Jehan. Very nice, very nice. What a great matchup. Well deserved. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
It's like two superheroes fighting each other right there.
Yeah, that was really, really epic. Really, really went down to the wire for both of them. We definitely got our money's worth today. Okay, good to hear, X Machine Engineering. So, really good battles today from everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining us throughout this live stream. Good game to both of the runners. Really good game to all four of our runners today. So nice to have Revopoint here with us, sponsoring the green bracket. Great to see Pranav and JAUSH in the green bracket. Congrats to Pranav. Moving on to the Elite 8. Great to see Jack Saito and Jehan Refaa in the red bracket, sponsored by Alibre. Congratulations to Jehan Refaa. Moving on to the Elite 8. Congratulations. Good luck in everybody's next couple of matches. Don't forget to support the channel by liking, by subbing, by sharing and resharing, and by signing up for a free account at TooTallToby.com. Guys, over the next couple of weeks, I just want to say here that when it comes to this idea of sharing and resharing, over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be putting out a lot of content to promote for this Elite 8 group. So just please, if you see me post anything on social, take it and reshare it on your network. It's huge. It really, really helps to grow the channel. So be on the lookout for that. Nico Concarne coming through with a super chat. Thank you so much, Nico Concarne. Very, very much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
If you guys are out there and want to do super chat, it's the little $sign thing down at the bottom of the chat window. That's how you can do super chat. You just put in a credit card and you're able to send some super chat our way. And also, of course, the shirts are available, limited quantity, but the shirts are available.
Very soft.
And guys, we're going to take a week off now. We're going to take a week off and we are going to go to October 21st. So between now and October 21st, you're going to see a lot of promotion for this amazing group, the Elite 8, moving through. So we're going to be off next week. We'll still have a lot of content coming out from the channel, but no live stream next week. The next live stream for the tournament is going to be October 21st. And then we will live stream the following week. We'll take one more week off. And then it's time for the finals. So the finals are going to be on November 11th. That's when we go to the finals. So really, really, really good stuff here. Be sure to join us. Be sure to sign up for all of the episodes. Be sure to join us here in the Elite 8, October 21st. Ivan the Reasonable is going to square up against the Golden Spamfish. The Golden Spamfish uses Onshape in dark mode.
I'm very, very excited for that match.
Yes. Yes, indeed. And we're going to see Juiced versus Victor K. Another epic match between ANSYS Space Claim and SolidWorks.
Yeah.
So that's going to be pretty epic as well. Man, guys, this was awesome. This is all we could ask for. Connor, I want to say thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
He's an Onshape student. He's in National Honor Society. He's in BSA. And he's also, in case you guys didn't realize, let's switch over to full screen here so they can see the resemblance. My son, this is my son right here.
Yeah.
Very, very proud. Very, very proud of this young man.
Yeah.
Does so much, works so hard, keeps up all his grades, active in the community. Yeah, really, really awesome. So,
too nice.
Yeah, I'm very proud of you, Connor.
Thank you.
So, just in case you guys didn't see the family resemblance, you know, that's what it is.
Height comparison?
Height comparison, yep. We'll do a height comparison someday. So, great to have you guys in here today joining us. Great stream with Toby and Connor, yep.
Thank you.
It was an awesome stream with you here. So be sure to join us, guys. You guys are the most amazing chat ever. Thank you so much. One of the best co-commentators.
You're too nice. Stay fun.
Nice. Stay fun. Thank you. Guys, we're going to do Model Monday live on Monday. We're starting at 1 p.m. now. Seems like it's a better start for most of the people in the chat. So 1 p.m. on Monday. And I hope to see you guys all there on Monday. Thank you again so much for joining us. This was awesome. Thank you so much, Connor. This was great having you here.
Thank you.
And can't wait until next time. I'll see you guys next time.
Adios.